Hi, I'm Raymond, and you're listening to Insert Quest Here. Today we're going to be playing our Apocalypse World campaign, Verdant Mountains. I'm going to be GMing. This is episode 4. Um, if you're not familiar with the campaign rather. If you're not familiar with the game, there's Wikipedia and Google are a thing. If you're not familiar with our campaign, though, it's a world overrun by plants. The player characters, their home is built on a dam wall and also the actual dam itself. They got some boats. Uh, they've got some problems that need a solving, and they're gonna try and solve them. So let's introduce ourselves, starting with Mr. Problem Solver themselves. I just thought if I left the gap, one of you would start talking.
We were all waiting to see who you were going to name.
Which one of us is Mr. Problem Solver? Yeah.
Which one of you is Mr. Problem Solver? Oh, it's going to be Ryan now because Brandon's leaving.
All right, I will be Mr. Problem Solver. Hey, everybody, I am Ryan. You may remember me from such podcasts as Ragnarok. I'm going to be playing Saffron. Saffron is the Maestro D. He is transgressing. He dresses in vintage wear. He has a porcelain face, mischievous eyes, a curvy body, and precise hands. And Saffron runs a theater brothel off of an old riverboat and has recently just put up his first performance of his new spring show. And yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Brandon.
Oh, joy. I'm Brandon. I do things. The end. I am playing Ozair. They're an ambiguous person. They wear coats, and they're pretty. They're pretty fucked up right now. They're like, what do I do? You'll find out. Whatever, who cares? Ozair cares.
And
Probably
presumably
not.
the people that listen to this podcast care.
Play to find out what happens. Listen
Dude,
to find out.
You gotta listen in. And
Yeah.
who does that leave us with? A minor player in the community.
Yeah, no one important.
No one important.
Just a guy. I'm Alex, and I'm playing Canteen Ayazama. He is the leader of the Aquifer of the Soul, which is kind of the church in town. And he is the religious leader. And he has a girlfriend named Babylon, and a brewer/apprentice named Lissa, and a bodyguard named Nipperkin.
I haven't done much with Lissa. I think I will try and work her into this episode a bit more.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, Saffron, I believe at the end of last run, someone tried to assassinate you
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
with a screwdriver. Another person knew that this was probably going to happen and chose to do nothing.
So are we picking it up exactly where we left off last time? Like we're all still...
Unless you were gonna try some advanced interrogation tactics, we don't really need to pick it up where it left off.
All right. Yeah, I'm not really statted out for that.
Really, you don't want to work?
Cooking pot.
You don't want to work him over with a screwdriver?
Let's write a special move for that.
Wet work.
Right. When you go to town on someone with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch, roll plus hard.
The Tom James special is where you make them think you're going to hurt them badly, but it's actually just a popsicle and a blowtorch. and you trick them with theatrics.
which was fantastic.
Yeah, that's totally what the Punisher would do. So, uh, there's not much more to get out of, what was his name? Pitts or something? Or Parts? Some name like that.
I don't know. I don't take notes on parts I'm not in.
Fair enough. He
Yeah,
was
I
in.
did not. I did not write it down, which I probably should have, considering that he tried to murder me. But
It occurs to me I might have put it in my own list of names thing. No. He's a shit cunt. Anyway, his name wasn't super important. It was. Either way, um, do you hold him on your ship? Because you've put him in like a room and locked him in there. Do you hold him or do you turn him over to the cons?
I suppose I would turn him over to the cons, mostly because I don't want to take responsibility for him, considering he's addicted to drugs or some kind of sulfurous yellow substance. And
He's just been eating sulfur. He's just crazy.
so yeah, I probably would have given him over to the cons.
Alright, so in the morning, whatever amounts to your security personnel, your bouncer, takes them over to the cons. Like, he tried to kill Saffron, but Saffron's fine. Tell me, how is justice normally done in your community?
Drownings.
So you have a corporal punishment system?
I don't know. Ruled by
Well, the
two
Aquifer of the
pirates.
Soul has its own laws and punishments.
Hmm. If somebody had, beaten up another person, how is that person punished? For example.
What do you mean if someone beat up another person?
If somebody committed an act of assault on someone else.
Okay.
Did they deserve it?
So it is based on moral then, rather than, for example, you asked did someone deserve it, meaning that I assume that matters in your laws.
Sure.
Alright.
Hmm.
So how do you determine if someone deserved to be assaulted?
Well, that's the $5,000 question, ain't it?
Do you have public hearings? Do you have hearings at all? Are the cons just the ultimate arbiters of justice?
Well,
Does the aggrieved have a role in the proceedings?
the role we've seen that the cons have taken so far, and this could just be Ozair bleeding into myself, is that they are two tyrants who make decisions wildly based off whatever because. Like, they could be taken out of power, like, by mob rule kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like, because they made the decision that, I have this many months to get the lights, and
Yeah.
X has many months to get his militia, his 5 men with rubber band guns or whatever.
Hawaiian spear guns.
So it would seem to me that would be heavily involved, unless of course it was committed in the church.
Ooh.
But
Yes, and I think they probably also have the power if they wish to delegate it out. I don't feel like dealing with this right now, so someone else could do it.
I was thinking there probably isn't like a formalized court or trial system, but perhaps if somebody has a grievance with someone else, there is a procedure where they can convene like an ad hoc trial, and it's just whichever side brings the more people or can win more people over to their side. carries the day and gets to dole out the punishment.
It's persuasive
Mm.
argument as opposed to evidence.
Right.
Whoever can bring the most brickbats to the argument to beat in the other side's heads.
Who's the king in the Bible who's all like, we shall split the baby in half?
Solomon.
It
So
is
yeah.
Solomon?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
a Solomon situation. You just talk at the king, and then the king's like, yeah, we're gonna cut him in half. When all you've got is a bandsaw.
Everything looks like a baby that needs to be
And-
cut in half.
Yeah.
And that is why you are Mr. Problem Solver.
No, you're Mr. Problem Solver.
That's right. I'm Mr. Problem Solver.
Alright, so unless you suggest to the cons a punishment or what you want done with them, then the cons will just, decide.
You should kill him.
I mean, yeah, I kind of feel like he should probably be put out of his misery. I have enough enemies already without some crazed, possible slave of the Yellowkin wandering around trying to off me.
Well, wouldn't it be important to figure out how he got to be like that?
That's up to
Bones
Saffron.
to dust.
Yes.
I would say maybe they should find out what they can, and I will also make inquiries, but I don't think that Saffron would want this guy walking around.
Alright,
Okay.
well, as you're having this meeting with the cons in the morning, towards the end, after these just quick discussions, Holland turns to Pacifica and whispers something to Pacifica, and then Pacifica says, "Very well, it is decided. This wretch shall be held for 30 nights, and then they shall be disposed of." And then the cons make a motion as if to say, "You can leave now, Saffron."
Okay. I bow politely and say, thank you for your wise judgment, Pacifica Holland. I must retire to the theater now. We have rehearsals to get to. And then I smile and leave.
Brilliant. Ayazama took me a minute.
You always forget my name.
I also forget who plays Saffron a lot. Ayazama, you after service, your first morning service,
Mm-hmm.
who is the brewer? What's the brewer's name again?
Lissa.
Lissa.
Or Lisa? Lissa. It's Lissa.
Lissa. Lissa comes to you, and they look, as they're walking over to you, they look troubled. Sort of like there's something they want to ask, but they're not sure how to ask.
Ayazama senses this and breaches the subject first. What seems to be the trouble, Lissa?
Not so much trouble as it is. How do I say this? I've heard rumors about the place that Ozair is planning to head to.
Oh,
And
the building with the lights.
yeah, and one of the things I've heard is that apparently she leans in real close to you. Apparently, it may have an ancient water relic within it. Some kind of long lost drop of water. And
Really?
then goes back.
And where did you hear this rumor?
Uh, I don't want to say.
Lissa, anything you say to me in the confines of the aquifer stays within the aquifer. You know that.
All right. Well, we're going to switch over to Ozair then.
Oh.
So, Ozair,
Yep.
you have been putting together this team of yours, right? You've got
No.
Crack team.
Well, that's a good point. Rather, you've got 2 volunteers the other day.
Yep.
Tall husband and small husband,
Yep.
short husband. Um,
Some husbands.
you got any other? How else has this plan progressed?
It has not progressed.
Oh, brilliant! Did you
Because
have?
that is Ozair's way of planning.
Brilliant. Would you like to do some planning now?
Probably not.
Cool.
Ozair is a go-getter, or believes she is a go-getter.
All
So
right.
he's got 2 volunteers and
A rough idea of where to go.
she knows. She's got her magical powers
Cool.
of already knowing. But I'm going to roll my whatever move.
Which move?
My supposed to roll this at the beginning of the session move.
Ah, yes.
7, 8, 9. All right. Cool. So, got a 9. Hold 1. Stick me somewhere. Magically transport me back from my awful decision to go to this water bottle plant. Get out of jail free card, the move.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I improve. Haha. But yeah, Ozair does not have a plan.
Mm-hmm. And
They
has
do
no
not.
plan to make a plan?
Yes.
All right.
Like there's not really any maps,
Mm-hmm.
and she knows if she's outside, it's that way, pointing to the way it's supposed to be in that area somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a large party of people would seem to her to be pointless because that just draws attention to yourself. And so she already had 2 people volunteer. Sure, they're related to her by marriage, but you know, cool.
All right. When are you gonna head out? Gonna head out today? Gonna head out at some point in the future?
Probably I should go find those 2 husbands
All right.
and ask them.
So it's the morning. Oh, excuse me.
Dying.
They are probably wherever the hunters meet. No pun intended. Where do the hunters gather? Where's the hunting lodge?
Oh my god. Is there a hunting lodge?
What if
Right.
there's like
Hunting
toll-
lodge. Yeah, sorry, you go.
there's an old toll booth at the end of one of the dams that's been converted into their like meeting spot for before they head out.
You know, it didn't even occur to me that this might be the kind of dam you can drive across the top of.
Neither did it occur to me until just now.
It is the kind of dam that you can drive across the top of.
It is now.
Definitely. It's got a toll booth apparently at one end.
Well, I would think less a toll booth and more a government-sanctioned security booth in which to prevent terrorists to blow up.
It's got bollards.
Well, they have to protect the dam from the terrorists.
Yes. So, Ozair climbs their way up through the nonsense of the dam, hopefully making it in time to before they leave to tell them they're not leaving. Well, the rest of them are, but they're heading out today because shrug, sure, let's go.
Oh, today? Who's in your party? Who are we going with? Says tall husband.
I look at the both of them and I look at the rest of the hunters and I say, well, there are three of us. You, you, and me.
Oh.
I mean, you're experienced search for the word warriors, I guess.
Mm.
And
Small husband sort of like groans at that, like, mm-mm, mm-mm.
well, I mean, you hunt dangerous creatures. What's more warrior-like than that? And I have a gun, so
Mm.
any more people and we'll be drawing more attention to ourselves. Wouldn't you agree? Isn't it? Isn't that how your hunting works? You know, small parties.
It depends on the
Tracking.
animal you're going
And
after, but I mean that's a sound strategy. How we're not going to be able to bring back many lights with just the three of us.
well,
I guess we could make multiple trips.
we could get there with our team of 7 people, say, and there'd be no lights there, too.
That's a fair point. So perhaps this is more of a scout mission.
I mean, we're bringing lights back, but
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, give us some time to get ready. We should be good to go in an hour or so.
okay. Well, I kind of look around at the other hunters, kind of look over small, short husband, and I'm like, well, you won't be going on the hunt, as you know.
Mm.
So you probably want to let your superiors. I don't know how it works with you, so
Yes,
that they can
good point.
replace you.
You see tall husband turn around, and he looks to another one of the hunters and says, You lead the party. You're ready. You have been training for this. You'll do fine. And turns back. Problem solved. And then small husband turns around and goes, Go hunt! Get out there! Go find some food! Jesus Christ.
Oh my god. Well, let's meet back here because this is close to where we are going to leave out. Maybe someone will come to me and say they want to die. I don't know. I hope not. But I mean, you can spread word around if you're like worried and want more people to come with us. That's perfectly fine with me. I'm not because I don't want to be responsible for anyone. I only want to
No,
be
no,
responsible for
we
myself.
understand. Fair enough. All right, good. Wonderful. Um, Brilliant. We'll see you in a moment. And then they sort of turn around to a back area and sort of start picking over some tools, various hunting tools, bags and sashes.
Yes, hunting tools.
Yeah,
As I return to my sanctum sanctorum.
Now, Brandon, you told me that you were thinking of using your augury power next run, which would be this run.
Yes.
Did you want to use that now?
Well, I need to be in my sanctum sanctorum, in my
Yep.
workspace.
So you go there.
And I go there, and I go into my door, and I go into the weird place where there's a whole bunch of computers and wires and garbage and what looks like, to the people listening, perhaps a satellite. Ozair has no idea what it is. And she's gonna try and do something with it. Maybe.
Brilliantly vague.
Yep.
Try and do something.
So she does what she normally does the steps that she went through to get it to start up last time. This is kind of a humming noise that comes from the strange cylindrical white object with blue wings.
Why put wings on a cylinder?
Exactly. What is this nonsense? And she kind of looks at it, and there is a small, like, hatch on the side of it, big enough to fit an average-sized person. And so it was never been open. Like, she's never been able to open it, but now that it has power, he can grab it and kind of pop it open. Perhaps it's some kind of magnetic latch or something that only through electromagnets can it be open. And she climbs inside. And I'm gonna roll this goofy move.
Roll to goofy move. Roll to goof.
Oh, good. That is an amazing roll there. And I get sent
6.
back in time. 6? Let's see.
What
Yeah,
happens on
6.
6, buddy?
I get sent back in time. No. On a miss, whatever bad happens, my antenna takes the brunt of it. Do I use it and then it blows up, killing me?
Ozair unexists himself.
So something bad happens.
Yep. On a miss, whatever bad happens, the antenna takes the brunt of it.
Alright. So, you get in, you close the door, and you press some buttons, and then you smell a very acrid, ozone-y kind of smell, and hear a whirring, very loud, that you hadn't heard before, and then the whole thing, all the little lights and everything, turn off, and then you hear the distinct sound of a fire erupting somewhere else inside this capsule that you're inside of.
Which is, I probably can't get out of now.
I don't know. Do you want to try the door?
I try to push the door.
You see there's a bunch of, like, wheels on the inside. They're like crank levers. Maybe if you quickly turn them, you can overcome the door.
Ozair, in their kind of panic, starts kind of, doing things and trying to, push and pull and turn and squirrel with all of these things. This is where all my rolls start becoming shitty. And I would like to use my new move.
Oh, brilliant. This reminds me, we forgot to highlight stats.
Yep. Good thing
And
I
for
haven't
this,
highlighted anything or taken any experience yet.
and for this session, I am going to highlight everyone's... hang on, let me remind myself what the stats are.
Everyone's hot. Everyone's sharp.
I'm going to highlight everyone's cool.
Yeah.
You gotta be
All
cool.
right.
Alright. Giggity giggity.
Get
Okay.
cool. Get cool with it.
Ayazama has the highest history with me.
So I pick yours.
Yes.
So cool is highlighted. I will give you. How about sharp?
Oh, good.
Or is that one of your bad ones?
No, I mean it's a +2.
Ah, all right. Well, there you go then.
You gotta be cool and sharp.
And Saffron is my highest.
All right. In that case, I am going to go with your. I'm going to go with your hot.
Nice.
All right.
And Ayazama and Ozair are tied for me. So I'm going to pick Ozair.
So you have cool highlighted, your Maestro D. What do you want me to highlight, Ryan? I'll highlight whatever you want me to highlight.
I was planning on using a lot of my hot moves, so
Okay,
probably
then
that.
take hot.
Nice.
I will be generous.
Thank you.
Then take weird.
That Saffron is so hot right now.
Yes.
It's that numinous quality of almost getting murdered by a screwdriver.
Exactly.
With a screwdriver.
She has that
Well.
je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
Here's what the French call a certain I don't know what.
Exactly. So I'm going to use my new move called the Mother's Heartbeat.
Oh, that sounds creepy as fuck.
And I'm going to try and use it. I can feel this pull when I'm inside of here. Like, it's stronger here, perhaps, than I've experienced before. A pull to inside the Psychic Maelstrom.
Mm-hmm.
7!
7? Just?
Yeah, just. So, when I withdraw into the world's Psychic Maelstrom, I can choose one. Meanwhile, you can still watch and hear what's happening. You can reemerge in a different place altogether. You're healed of all harm, or you can bring someone in and out with you. So, about an hour later, I will reemerge somewhere else.
Brilliant.
So I am in the world Psychic Maelstrom for an hour.
That's fucking... What? Jesus Christ! What is this machine you've built? I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were playing this week's episode of The Flash.
Sorry. But, yes, so...
Spoilers!
Ozair kind of, lets herself fall into the Psychic Maelstrom. She gives all of herself to it and disappears from reality.
As the fire in your workshop keeps burning.
Well, I could have been burned alive.
No, it's a good strategy.
Someone will put it out. I have 3 helpers.
Yeah. Good help.
And they all might think you're dead.
Isn't it though in your the secret part of your workshop? Do they know about that?
And then in the back of it, there's like a door.
Brandon's connection is all over the shop.
Oh, good. I thought it was me.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome.
There we go. I got awesome.
You're back.
Okay,
Ish.
well, that was interesting, because I wasn't experiencing anything.
Nope, no, it's doing it again. I hate it when that happens. Oh
Uh-oh.
no, Brandon!
He's been absorbed by the world's sacred Psychic Maelstrom.
Clearly, he will reappear an hour later. Okay, that's fine, I've got a thing. So, your Ayazama, Lissa turns to you, Ayazama, and says, I heard it from one of the hunters. One of the older ones. They were telling stories last night at the bar on the barge.
Ah, interesting. So they've been to this place before?
They claimed to have been there long ago. and that they found water there, which kept them alive when they were lost.
Well, perhaps Nipperkin and I can join Ozair on their quest.
Um, uh, would it be possible, oh gracious Canteen, for me to come along with you?
Oh? And why do you want to come, Lissa?
I. What if there's a machine there that is making the water? I feel like I could learn more, and by studying this blasphemous technology, I could learn how to improve our own brewing process.
You claim this technology is blasphemous, and yet you want to use it for ourselves.
By assimilating it into the cleansing waters of our distillery, we may be able to remove its sinful taint. Purify it in the waters of the holy system.
Hmm. Well,
At the very least, we need to understand its evil. Then we can purge its sinful machinery from this place.
I would like to read this person,
Go for it.
because she's being a little weird. So that's plus sharp. There's my die thing. There we go. That would be 9.
Nice. What happens?
So one of those questions. What is the character really feeling?
They are deeply interested in water purification technology. They are all about it. They
Mhm.
desperately want to study something new.
Okay. I suppose you can accompany us, Lissa. But if it turns out to be nothing or too dangerous, then you can return here.
Of course. I'll follow yours and Nipperkin's lead. Um,
Very good. Now,
Should we go find Ozair?
you should go find him and let him know that we'll be accompanying him. I have to make arrangements with Babylon to take care of things in my absence.
Him, says fucking Lissa, that's the word, as they leave. Ozair's a guy? She wanders out.
And so I'm just gonna tell Babylon that basically she's in charge while I'm out.
Great.
She's gonna kill everyone while you're gone.
Yeah, probably. And then I'll pack,
New canteen!
I am the canteen now. And then I shall pack a bag of provisions and stuff, and of course take a gun.
I will pack a drop piece.
Well, no, it's tucked in my robe.
She's gonna go all red woman on your followers.
I come back, everyone just started worshiping fire instead of water.
Exactly.
No, this is broken!
This is blasphemy! He's born in salt and smoke. What is he, a ham?
Exactly.
Delicious smoked ham.
Beautiful. So, a few... Later on in the morning, alarms and sirens and shouting is coming from the dam. It would appear that there is a fire in the lower levels. In an event of a fire at the dam, what happens? Do the dammers take care of it, or is it expected that everyone tries to come and help? Is there a fire watch brigade or roster, a volunteer fire force?
Hmm. I mean, I would say it would probably depend on the severity of the fire.
Well, they're sounding alarms that can be heard throughout the encampment, so
Um,
I feel
severe?
like I feel like that would be part of the ritual of upkeeping the dam. So the dammers have fire drills, and they know the fire suppression, procedures, because they rehearse them with an almost ritualistic fervor.
well, if what if everyone has to get involved only because we have to make a giant bucket line from the water of the lake all the way down to wherever the fire is inside the dam.
Perhaps. That assumes that you're going to use water to put out the fire.
That's true. Yeah, if there's a fire suppression system, we might not need to.
Well, you might just use sand.
Well, fine, whatever.
I don't know. You don't really want to throw water on an electrical fire.
No.
True.
And it's not like you guys have fucking CO2 fire extinguishers lying around.
Damn it, why didn't we list that as one of the surpluses of our community? Carbon dioxide.
Sure we do.
Form.
We're a dam.
A
They're
damn
everywhere.
fine dam.
Everywhere,
So I
yeah.
guess there's probably maybe the rule is if you can hear the siren, if you can hear the bells, it means it's bad enough that you need to help.
All right. So, Saffron, what does your ship do? You can hear those sirens. They're distant, but you can hear them.
She goes to a
I-
faraway place.
Yeah, I
She
guess
travels deeper into the lake so that you can't hear them. Sorry, she.
Saffron is going to order his pilot. I don't know if we ever named that character, to bring the ship in to dock, and get the troop of actors ready to help. So get everybody lined up. I'm sure we have rehearsed this before. Just in case there's a fire, we know where to go and what our responsibilities are.
You've got a fire safety play that you do at the beginning
Yep.
of every summer. Just
I
one performance.
I really like that.
A matinee.
It's a shadow play with like an old what do they call it, informational film. So we Rocky Horror Picture Show it.
Remember, when fire rains from the sky, get under your desk. It's the only way to be protected from the nuclear flames. Cool. Ayasama, what are you doing?
I was already heading towards town. Um, heading
the
towards the area.
Which is kind of at the
So
other end of the dam from you,
Yeah.
basically.
he was already going that way. So he probably runs in just to see if there's any wounded he can help or something, not to fight the fire, but to help the people doing
I
it.
was going to suggest that maybe the canteen and your followers do paramedic rather than firefighter duties.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly. Like paramedics and helping people with smoke inhalation and providing them water to drink while they're fighting the fire. As
Ethan
opposed to
is there
diving.
with a red hat on, and he's shouting. He runs up to us and says, Canteen!
What is it?
Ozair's in there!
Oh
It's in
no!
Ozair's workshop! We can't get through the flames!
Be calm. We will get through the flames, and then we will find Ozair.
I can't lose another kid! I've lost too many! I've outlived
6
too
left.
many of my children!
Ayazama takes him and hugs him, trying to comfort him. We will find Ozair. I am sure that she is well.
Does Ozair just appear out of nowhere, Brandon? Just walk out?
Yes.
What's going on?
It has to be an hour later.
let's say it's been an hour. Everyone's
And
trying to
I
fight through this.
reemerge next to the person that I trust most at the current moment.
Who do you trust most in the current moment?
Ayazama.
Well, brilliant.
Oh.
You sort of appear next to Ayazama. You look, for the
Uh,
most part, fine.
Hello.
See?
What's happening?
There's a fire in your workshop, but you're fine! Oh, and Ethan hugs you really tight. Thank goodness you're fine!
I kind of go stiff.
Oh,
What?
I'm sorry. You're alright? There's a fire in your workshop. There's something wrong in there. We can't get through the flames.
Oh, I turned that thing on, you know?
Oh, you got it to work.
Yeah, and then I
He's
crawled
stoned.
inside,
Oh, how'd
Well,
you get
work
out?
is a bit of a stretch.
and then it set on fire while I was inside of it.
But you got out, right? You got out. You're fine. You're fine. He's like checking over you.
Um, her eyes kind of stare off into the distance. She's like, yeah, I'm mostly fine.
You see Saffron and some of the other theater people running down, carrying buckets of sand from the shore.
I mean, did you turn the power off?
It's an electrical fire. It's an electrical fire! Ethan shouts down the line. You hear voices echoing. It's an electrical fire. Yep, it's an electric fire. I told you guys, it's an electric fire. Let's get on the electric fire gear. Lots of people shouting. It's like fucking the South Park They Took Our Jobs episode.
You know, the worst part is I fix the thing, I turn it on, it was fine, and then it sets on fire. What a waste.
I'm gonna have to fix the thing again.
Perhaps we should deal with the conflagration first, before it destroys the dam.
I stamp my foot. The dam is rock. This will not burn.
Still, the smoke is rather thick.
Well, don't breathe it in. Face away.
That's brilliant. Face away. Don't breathe in the smoke in the enclosed space.
And I kind of say, you shouldn't be breathing it in anyways. Why aren't these people wearing masks? Don't they know that there could be poisonous chemicals inside of that device?
Well, I should go up top and make sure that everyone up there is okay.
Ethan grabs,
Oh, you coward!
Ethan grabs says, "You go with the canteen, and the canteen will make sure you're fine. I've got to supervise things here." And then they run off down the hallway, shouting out, "Open up all the doors and chambers! We need to get some air flowing through here! Somebody cut the power!"
I go downstairs into my workshop.
There's like a wall of fire there. Like, you can get in, but it's like there's a bunch of people throwing buckets of water and sand
Into the door.
into the fucking door.
I go over to where the generator I have is, and I turn it off. That's inside the front portion of the workshop.
Cool. The effects are not immediate, but after a few minutes, their attempts seem to start having an actual effect.
I just kind of stand and watch.
Well, good news, you've got some beachfront property now.
Yeah.
There's just going to be so much sand and water.
Yeah.
Well, there probably won't be much water, to be honest.
As long as you have the power off, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, well, if they didn't know it was an electrical fire at first, they might have thrown some water on, too.
And then it went straight back into them and killed them.
Kill them all.
15 dead already.
It was the worst fire in history.
Damn.
15 dead, and there are only 10 people there.
Yeah. Ozair waits for the fire to be done so she can inspect the massive damage to her
How
a
does
beloved piece of equipment.
Ozair's work team feel about them? Like, what is your relationship with them?
With my skilled labor,
Hmm.
um, I don't know. I just give them jobs and then they do them.
All right.
One of them is related to me by blood.
One of them walks up to you, is like, "Hey, um, you haven't. We're done. Our jobs have been cancelled for the day. Do you want us to clean up the workshop when the fire's done?"
No, nothing really. And I kind of like look around in the actual workshop. Nothing really got damaged in here. I mean, there's some smoke stuff, but and I kind of pat the wall. This is rock.
Concrete. One of them says.
And I roll my eyes. Yes, but half the time when I say concrete, people say con what, and I have to explain it to them.
Yeah. And they sort of tap your shoulder,
Um,
as if to say, "I'm with you. You're preaching to the choir."
yeah, you can leave. I mean,
Cool.
whatever. Who cares?
Sweet. Good luck on your thing later, by the way. I hope you find what you're looking for out there.
I don't know. Well, at least I know I'll be able to get back, I say, kind of smiling.
Okay. Cool. Whatever that means. I walk out.
And I wait to inspect the damage.
You may inspect the damage. Do you want to roll and inspect some damage roll?
I look inside. What do I see?
Weirdly, there's a lot of what looks to be damaged stuff, but then again, there was a lot of stuff in your workshop that was already damaged, so kind of balances out.
Yes.
Really the only thing you lost is you had some old salvaged wire, and it has now been
Yes.
stripped of its casing, so now you don't have to strip the wire at least.
Well, now it'll just be free floating wire that I can walk into and electrocute myself to death.
Yeah,
I go.
but when you walk into the part of the workshop where the augury systems, my phone is ringing in the background. There's not much I can do about that. It's on the other side of the room.
No problem.
You see the machine is blackened. You can see that a bunch of components are going to need to be really thoroughly cleaned, and there's also some components that are going to need to be replaced.
Well, good thing there's a lot of other small, tiny, gross computers in here. So maybe I can fix this when I fucking have time, when I'm not fucking trying to fix the fucking generator, trying to fix these fucking lights.
And also dealing with all the political bullshit.
I kind of scrape some of the sand on the ground with my foot, kind of look around and kind of shove my hands in my pockets and say, well, someday I'll actually use you. And I close the door and lock it. It wasn't locked before.
Mm.
And I hang the key up and I go out and up.
Brilliant. A wet dry back.
What a waste.
So, Ayazama and Saffron, there's some smoke inhalation, but no one's dead. There's some people that are going to be off their feet for a few months, though.
Yeah.
Turns out that you shouldn't throw water on an electrical fire. Who knew?
Go figure.
Probably
Go
shouldn't
whitefish.
It won't do
inhale
that
smoke
again.
either from a burning motherboard.
No, can't imagine that does wonders.
Delicious.
All those plastic vapors.
And God knows what sort of nuclear materials are on a satellite to power it.
It
Exactly.
was solar powered originally. Remember it had blue shimmering
Right,
wings?
yeah, that's okay.
Yes, but Alex
I
does
mean-
have a point. There's probably some uranium in there somewhere
It
because
probably-
shrug
I mean-
science.
No, plutonium. It's what's the thing? Is it called a pig? It's what the Mars. It's what the Curiosity, the big fucking car-sized rover that they landed with rockets a
Yeah.
few years ago. That thing was powered by nuclear material just decaying, the heat given off. That is a
Yeah,
thing.
that's how NASA powers most of their stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
And they're running out of the nuclear material.
Yay!
Well, we should create some more.
yeah. I don't know, bomb the moon. Bomb the moon until it surrenders its fissible material.
That sounds like a bad asylum sci-fi movie. Bomb the moon.
I've
Yeah.
seen the time traveler movie with what's his name, Guy Pearce.
Oh yeah, when the moon's all blown up. Yeah.
It works out fine. Anyway, you're dealing with that, and Ozair wanders up, and there's tall husband and short husband. They said it was just say, "Are we still going out, or do you want to take some time to rest? Are you all right, or?"
I look at them. Are they like sweaty and did they go and help at all?
They were just sort of keeping back the children and
Okay.
whatnot. They were
Yeah.
managing the unusables.
I look perfectly like calm and perfectly dressed and like perfectly coiffed kind of hair and just like well put together. And
Like
I kind
the
of look at them.
supermodel your character's appearance is based on.
Yes, and I kind of look at the both of them and I say, well, I think I'm fine, but no one else showed up.
No, it's just us two. I guess
Oh,
it's just us two.
actually, I was hoping that perhaps myself and some of my people might be able to accompany you.
They look
Hi.
to Ozair.
Slowly turn and look at Ayazama.
It's Ayazama, Lissa,
Nipperkin and Lissa.
and Nipperkin standing there with some bags, some backpacks.
There's some noises coming from Ozair's general direction.
I mean, Nipperkin used to be a hunter and is now a bodyguard. They might be useful.
Canteen isn't your place here?
My place is wherever I can do the most good for our community, and normally that is here at the Aquifer, but my people have heard rumors that there could be useful technology useful for the Aquifer at this facility that you are traveling to, and I would be remiss if I did not at least investigate to see the authenticity of these rumors.
Oh, yes, you might need replacement parts for your religious machine. And I understand Nipperkin here, you know, he has large arms, but the young woman,
Do not underestimate Lissa. She has many talents.
Alyssa sort of steps forward and puts her hand out. Really sort of like it's a very jagged, aggressive motion. And then says, "I'm looking forward to working with you, Ozair. I've heard a lot about your technical prowess."
I look at Lissa's hand, and I nod. I have no problem with you coming along. I have
Good,
no
then
problem
it's
with you
settled.
being here, Ayazama. I have no problem with you being here, Nipperkin. I have no problem with you being here, Lissa. But this is my expedition, and you will listen to me no matter what. Your place your place of canteen is here, Ayazama. Once we step outside of these walls, you don't hold any power there.
No, you're absolutely right.
So, as long as that is understood, then I am more than happy to have you.
And I am sure the hunters that you are relying on for navigation and protection will feel the same way.
I'm sure.
Ooh. I feel like there's some subtext.
Well, and I kind of have my nothing, my gun, and I kind of say, well, I think it's this way, and I kind of like point out into the Verdant.
The Verdant.
The Verdant.
We are going to the Verdant.
Yeah, I am Ozair.
Or didn't we
This is
tell
my
you
new
the game
accent.
is Stephen?
Exactly.
That would explain so little. Saffron,
Yes.
you can see this ragtag group of hunters and religious leaders sort of strolling purposefully into the Verdant. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I suppose we'll wait and see how that comes out.
You're just happy we didn't decide to go see the yellow kin and ask for their
We need some
lights.
entertainment for our journey.
Right.
We need a bard in this party.
We already have a cleric and a fighter.
I trust Ryan to inject himself into that scene if he wants to.
I would kind of like to go, but I feel like I would be next to useless.
So, Lissa's going?
Yeah.
She has motivation to go, though. I mean, as far as I know, there's really nothing for me at the water bottling plant.
Well,
Even-
have you been listening to Red Markets? To the Le Corbusier, the Brutalist campaign?
I am most of the way caught up. I'm in the middle of episode 5, I think.
Right, well, they have that journalist that's recording them everywhere they fucking go for extra bounty. Maybe you're gonna create a new project.
That's totally true.
But that's up to you. I mean, we can do stuff with you back here. I'm not gonna make you go.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Saffron would be interested, but he also doesn't want to leave the theater at the moment because he's
So some
got
crazy militia man might try to take it over while you're gone and kill all your actors.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's that.
He's got Bean on his case, and also someone apparently wants to murder him, and he feels safer surrounded by his armed players.
Quick, actors, pile onto me.
Protect me with your bodies.
No, not like that.
Well, that's one of the security features I chose for my theater. Everybody's packing. Your cast and crew are a gang, so
Yeah.
I really don't want to leave them behind.
All right, cool.
But I will go up to them before they depart. Saffron has his tragedy mask. It has been haphazardly repaired as much as possible. There are cracks, throughout it. Glue is barely dry. And he says to Ozair, so I suppose you're headed out on your adventure to the bottling plant.
I hope it's less an adventure, Saffron, and more of a successful expedition in which neither of us, and I kind of motion to Ayazama, our parties don't meet terrible ends.
The GM cackles in the background. Well,
Well, I said a prayer for us before our departure.
Yes, I'm sure we'll be mostly fine, protected by some water deity or whatever.
Do not underestimate the powers of the source.
I wonder if I might ask you a service, Canteen, before you depart.
Of course.
I suppose you heard. I forget what happened exactly at the end of last session. Were you there when I was assassinated, or
Yes.
I was attempted to? Someone attempted to assassinate me. I can speak tonight.
Yes, I remember
yeah.
quite vividly.
He helped you.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I helped save your life. I helped saved your life. I can speak tonight too.
Yeah, we're both very much with the language.
Yeah.
Canteen, when when I looked into the maelstrom, I sensed some kind of a taint and influence on the assassin. Um, I believe it might have something to do with the Yellowkin, and I was wondering if the source might be able to help me clarify that connection.
It's certainly possible. Unfortunately, I would have to preside over the ritual myself, but I believe that it might be able to help you.
Alright, so basically, out of character, what I'm asking is, will you help me open my brain so that I don't, die and have a seizure?
Give him
Yeah,
an aid roll, bruh.
yeah. Roll that sick aid.
Do some
Yes, I
do
can.
some do some water magic on me.
Sprinkle
Yes, of course.
some
When I return,
water.
I shall come see. I shall send word to you when we return, and we shall talk further.
Okay, thank you, Canteen. I appreciate it very much, and I wish you all well on your expedition. May it
Ozair
be
kind of
uneventful.
comes up to you, Saffron, kind of stands in front of you, kind of studying your mask for a moment. Doesn't look right.
Uh, no, no, it doesn't. But it's the
And
only one I have.
I pull the gun from my waist and kind of put it against, I'm like waving it in the air, and I say, "You should get rid of that man who tried to kill you. Don't leave it in the hands of those two idiots. Kill him,
You
and
don't
do it soon."
you don't trust the cons to do it is right.
No, I don't.
I'm not saying Brandon is actually right to not trust them, but
What if he escapes? What if he goes back? What if he was on a mission and now they're going to send more?
I believe what Ozair is saying is that the cons tend to do what is best for the cons, and most times that aligns with the needs of the community, but not always.
If you need support, go to my father. You can, um, have him present a case, and, if you need to reverse your charge, and have him dealt with, perhaps in some kind of theatrical drowning or hanging.
you
We probably do drown a lot of people by execution. It's just easier.
while you guys are talking about the cons, sometimes they're what they want not aligning with everyone. You do all recall the tale of of Mad King Atlantatron, who believed that his husband's people should be subservient to those that live on the lake. The dams were slave labor and should be treated as such. So that's an example of sometimes your system of government doesn't work.
Mm. With a name like Atlantatron, can we also say that he believed he was a killer robot?
No, because that's not the kind of game we're trying to create, remember?
Yeah.
Why not?
No, of course not. That would just be silly.
He could believe that he was some kind of robot and screwing plates into himself.
Yeah, he had metal limbs. He'd lost them in a hunting accident.
Why not? I mean, his name is already very ridiculous.
I couldn't think of another way to make an ocean name sound masculine. I couldn't have them also be Atlantica. I guess I could have been Atlanticor, but that's still weird. Either
Atlanta.
way, it was going to be funny. Atlanta's a woman's name as well.
Why can't it be a man's name?
That's true.
This is the future.
They're not women's clothes, they're my clothes.
Exactly. So we set off on our adventure. You never see us again, Saffron.
No, that's
All
it.
right.
End of campaign.
That's the end of campaign. We're going to do a solo campaign now. This is going to be Ryan.
One-on-one.
Just Ryan running a show.
Yeah, Ryan, what stat are you going to highlight for yourself this week?
I think I'm gonna go with my weird.
Cool. So, is there an Undertaker Perilous Journey equivalent in?
No.
I don't think so.
I didn't think there would be, but I thought I'd better ask because Brandon might know.
Is it interesting for us to encounter something on the road? If not, then we make it
Why
there
are you asking?
without, and then we're killed by the 10,000 monsters that live inside the water bottling plant made of water bottles that shoot water bottles out.
So, I do
Water
have
bottles.
some questions about this
Water bottles.
place that you're going to, this water bottling plant, this water bottle plant.
Water bottle.
Water bottle. Is it? it's near-ish to the dam. Like you
Yes.
can walk there in like half a day.
Mhm.
Is it at the same elevation as you, or is it further down one of the mountains that your lake is nestled between, or is it further up one of the mountains that your lake is nestled between?
Definitely not further up.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good either way. I would think maybe further down, like maybe the lake was the source of the water that was being bottled, and like they were bottling from the stream that was flowing off of it.
The source.
The source.
So you can kind of maybe make out the building from the top of the dam wall.
If you get in one of the turrets or whatever.
On a good night when the moon is full and the skies are clear.
And the
And you can
rusted
see-
metal of the building in the distance
Yes.
sort of glints the moonlight. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, as you're heading down there, you all notice Nipperkin stand deathly still, and then, like, after a few paces, small husband and tall husband follow suit. And they all look into the forest, into the jungle, into the primeval woods that surround you. They all look off in different directions. And they just stand there deathly quiet, clutching their weapons. What do the rest of you do?
Shoot wildly into the jungle. No.
Ayazama clutches his weapon. What is it, Nipperkin?
Quiet, he whispers to you as he puts his hand on your lips. Sensually.
I read a situation.
That took a
Go
turn.
for it.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. Actually,
If you want, you can just aid Brandon.
yeah,
Please
I'll do that.
aid me.
So I roll plus my relationship with you. Where's my die? There we go.
Please aid me.
That puts me at 13.
So
You
plus
are
2.
aided.
All right, that gives
Actually,
me
minus.
8.
No, I'm kidding.
All right, so I get 8.
I should have just rolled the spot. I would have done better.
Yeah, probably, but
It's okay.
when you're both rolling, it should really be one person.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I got my sweet 8. And what should I be on the lookout for?
Should be on the lookout for those humanoid figures moving in the dark underbrush.
Get out of there.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling Murs.
And your pet dammers, too.
I know, everyone calls your community the Murs. Everyone from elsewhere just calls you the Murs.
Sick. Time to drain the lake.
Let it flow.
That'll teach it.
So,
I point out to Ayazama the figures lurking in the darkness in the underbrush.
I get ready to shoot them.
Lissa sort of crouches down and puts her hand into like a more restricted and taut version of where you place your hands when you pray at the cistern.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear her whispering something under her breath about may the waters protect me and create an island in the stream so that we may seek refuge.
If you could audibly hear Ozair's eyes rolling, there would be like a loud screeching noise as her eyes roll in her head, listening to the small child on the ground praying.
Could we roll to escape a hunter?
Go for it. That is in fact a thing.
Yeah. Roll plus cool, which is highlighted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do that again. 8, 9, 10 for me.
Nice.
And I get to mark some XP.
Alright, let me do that as well. I'm going to mark the XP even more. Let's see. That is a 3.
Mm.
Oh. Well. I mean, I don't want to leave everyone behind.
No. So, what happens is, Nipperkin takes a step forward in towards the bush, and then one of the creatures in the bush darts forward, and he just shouts, "Run!" And then twists and bolts as he grabs at Lissa and sort of half smacks Ayazama as if to say, "Why are you running so slow?" Small husband sort of pushes tall husband back as they ram a spear into this shadowy human figure. And tall husband starts to bolt, and in the confusion, a figure jumps on top of Ozair from in the trees above you.
Ooh.
They're sort of slathering, foaming at the mouth as they grab Ozair by the shoulders and sort of make this screeching howler monkey type cry. And as you look deep into their eyes, you see black and yellow sort of charcoal-y like stains around their eyes, and a raw red color in caking what remains of their teeth,
Cool.
while the rest bolt
You're fine.
towards the water bottling plant.
You're
What
fine.
do you do, Ozair?
I do what my father taught me, and my gun is
Pee your
already in
pants
my
and cry.
hand,
Your gun is already in your hand.
and I'm going to shoot this person under the chin.
Go for it.
What do you want me to roll? Do you want me to do something under fire, or do you want me to roll single combat, or am I
Do
just dealing
something
him?
under fire because it's hard to maneuver your gun as they're trying to bear down on your face and eat you.
Okay, so this is plus weird. So that is 9.
Nice.
No,
You
that
flinch.
is 7, excuse me.
On a 7 and 9, you flinch, hesitate, or stall. The MC can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Hmm.
My rolls are awful.
Mm.
Saved me.
What am I gonna do? I'm trying to think of the situation. Okay. This figure is clearly stronger than you. You know that if you let them, because you're a smart cookie. You know that if you wait until they bite you, you'll be able to maneuver your arm easier.
And if I don't,
Uh, that's a good point. It's just a worse outcome, I guess. If you don't, they'll probably bite you, but you'll have a few more seconds of till you do get bitten.
Okay, so so I'm hesitating to or I'm stalling to shoot, and if I stall, I'm not going to, uh, get my shot off. But if I want to actually kill them, then I have to get bitten.
Indeed.
Okay, I'm gonna get bitten by this gross monster.
Brilliant. So they sort of lean in, and then their teeth grip onto your cheek, and they bite down hard into the flesh of your cheek. And as they do, you can sort of hear this moaning, sort of a sexual growl as
Damn.
their arms sort of relax and sort of slide off of you and push into the dirt, and you can hear the crunching of leaves as they're sort of kneading at the ground. You can blow them the fuck away now, though.
I put my my magnum under his chin and, pointing into his neck, like the back of his head, and I pull the trigger, dealing 3 harm.
Yeah, his head explodes as a bit of your cheek goes with their jaw.
Ooh.
And there's just this dead figure slumped on top of you.
Disgusting.
You can see a bunch of see a bunch of feet sort of stamp past you very quickly, and then you hear this sort of, it's like a loud hiss mixed with a bark, but it's not like a dog bark. It's some other animal. And then you hear from the figures that have just sort of run past you, you hear a panicked howling as they scatter. And then you see two two groups of 4 legs, sort of land near you, and as you look up at it, you see 2 razorbacks. Is it razorbacks or razorbacks?
I think it's just Razbacks.
Yeah, razorbacks. You see 2 razorbacks, which are sort of reptilian panthers with spiny mace bone-ridged tails that are incredibly long. And they have razor blades along, serrations along each of their legs. And these 2 are sort of slinking towards one another. You can tell by a lack of back ridges and by their slightly smaller size that these are 2 males. They are a covenant of males, and they creep towards this body on top of you and sniff at it, and it sort of looks into you with its white eyes, and it just bites into the body silently. The only noise you hear is the squelching of the meat from the corpse, and then it drags it off of you and slinks into the bushes.
Good. Ozair pushes herself to her feet,
Mm-hmm.
touches her face, looks at it. Wonderful.
Yeah, there's a bit of blood. It'll stop eventually.
Of course, there's no worry. She tucks her gun back into her waistband.
Oh, it occurs to me you would have taken a harm from that, so we should do
Yes.
the take a harm move.
Okay.
So it's
How much
1
harm am I
harm,
suffering? Okay.
1 harm, and I'm going to say that because it was to your face, you don't get any armor. Does that seem fair?
I don't think I'm wearing any armor, so.
Well, good. Then we don't have to worry.
So
Roll plus that harm.
I am doing that. Okay. Oh, 6. Okay, cool, great.
6?
No, I'm looking at my dice. I got a 12.
Okay, on a 10, the MC can choose one. I'm gonna... I don't really want it to be worse than it seemed, to be honest.
Why not? Give me 2 harm. Give me more harm.
I'm gonna say you take the one harm, and then you have no fucking clue where everyone else went. In fact, you can't even remember what happened to Short Husband after he ran his spear through that guy. And I'm also going to use the misnoticing something important, but I'm not going to tell you what that is because it defeats the purpose. There's something else.
Okay, well, I spin around for a second,
Mm-hmm.
and I look, and I say, fuck. And I'm going to open my brain, because it's what I do. It's what Ozair would do.
Brilliant. While you get that ready, Ayazama, after you and the rest of everyone else run for like 10 minutes, you've heard some like screaming and shouting in the background. Everyone sort of realizes after they catch their breath for a quick minute.
We forgot Kevin!
Pretty much, Ozair is nowhere to be seen. Now give me that weird roll, Ozair.
You also hear a shot, I would have presumed. They
Yeah,
hear the
but
loud cracking sound of the magnum.
yes, they would have heard that.
Well, bone
Amongst all
chewers
the
don't carry
shouting.
guns, so that's a good sign.
You know who does carry guns
Oh,
and
the mountain man.
is also fond of ambushes?
Yeah, that's true.
I got a 9.
A 9 on your open yourself up to the weird roll. I should actually look at that.
Yes. You'll give me an impression.
Open
I'm
your
looking.
brain.
The MC will tell you something new and interesting about the current situation and might ask you a question or two, and you'll give me an impression. Like somebody's
When
gonna
was
get
the
like
last time you were in the woods in the Verdant?
probably once, about 2 or 3 years ago.
Why did you come out into the Verdant?
Um, Ozair has had a lot of strange ideas, and this is probably the strangest one. She was out here taking plant cuttings and hoping to find something that served better as a um, as a oil for some machine she was working on.
Okay. You're hoping to make some kind of lubricant.
Yes, lubricant. I couldn't think of the word.
That's alright.
Some kind of a lube for my sexy times. No,
Fisto Roboto.
exactly.
Cool. Did something bad happen while you were out there?
I mean, it would be less interesting to say no.
Yeah, but you get to dictate if what the bad thing is if you do say
Yes.
yes. So it could be,
I think
I
that was
fucking
the
got poisoned or something.
third time that she's killed someone.
Was the person you killed your guide?
No, Ozair is a giant asshole and just randomly does whatever she feels like. So they just went out into the wood, which is a terrible idea. And um,
As you now and then recognize.
yes, she will never change her ways. Um, it's where she got her gun from. Um, when she was out taking plant cuttings or whatever, and picking flowers and whatnot. I think one of the what are those gun people called? What are
The
their names?
Mountaineers.
Yes, the Mountaineers. There was one of them down here for some reason, and she happened to see him before he saw her. He fired a shot, missed, and she bonked him on the head with her crowbar. Which, if you hit someone in the head with a crowbar, they're not going to get back up.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know how Gordon Freeman swings them around so willy-nilly, to be honest. They are
Well,
heavy as
Ozair
shit.
has one, so.
Yeah, no, go for it.
But yeah, and so she kind of looted the body, quote unquote, and then left it and returned back saying, fuck this, I'm never going back out here again.
So, as you open your mind to the Verdant, you see the trees' leaves sort of turning into strange oval gears, and the trees' bark fading into this sort of dull copper. And you see a figure step out from a pile of leaves, and it's the man you killed, and he points towards your comrades, and then just stands there,
I
waiting
kind
for
of
you to leave.
give him a salute and kind of mutter under my breath, good fight, and I go the way he's pointing me, straight
Great.
into the rest of his friends that are
Yes.
hiding out in the woods, ready to kill me.
Brilliant. Cool. So you wander up to your friends as they. Do you, Ayazama, the group backtrack at all to try and find Ozair?
Well, Ayazama is trying to convince everyone that we should do that. It's up. I will leave it up to you whether the rest of the group thinks that's a good idea or is just going, nope, fuck him, he's dead.
Yeah, Nipperkin's like, we should do what the canteen wants, and then Small Husband and Tall Husband are like, no, we need to carry on with the mission.
It's what Ozair would want.
And then as the arguing goes on, you hear that, Ozair, you hear Small Husband say, we need to carry on! It's what Ozair would have wanted! Just as you walk out of the bushes.
She kind of saunters out. She has like a handkerchief in her hand, like dabbing at her cheek.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of says, well, that was a shitty garbage situation. She's kind of glistening in sweat. Her hair is kind of very mussed. Her jacket's still perfectly pristine. It's weird electronics, not much more holding on as they were.
Yeah.
So.
You certainly have a penchant for making entrances, Ozair.
Kind of shrug, put my hands out to the side. Well, do any of you know, like, some type of, like, medicine or, like, anything to, like, look at this to make sure they're not gonna, like, die?
Lissa sort of rushes forward with one of the bottles, and then sort of pauses quickly and looks towards the canteen as if to say, may I? Am I allowed to?
Yes, he nods.
And Lissa sort of offers up a small vial of water to you, Ozair, and says, it is through the cleansing waters of the system that we may purify ourselves, and the aqua of the soul breeds regeneration.
So she's handing me, like, a bottle of water.
She's handing you a small vial of water.
It's got a little bit of a color to it.
Yeah.
I kind of take it out of her hand, and I kind of hold it up to the light. Well, it doesn't look like there's anything floating in it, so... And I kind of down the entire thing.
Cool.
Oh,
this isn't going to kill me.
Lissa sort of makes a sign of faith and then says, does Ayazama say anything? Ozair
I think Ozair says, this is going to kill me, isn't it? And Ayazama says, no, it has a 95% success rate.
Oh, good. I like those odds.
That's more efficient than homeopathy.
I mean,
well, there are tons of chemicals in the water. We just don't know what they are.
Do we have a bandage or like something? I mean, I have this handkerchief, but I think
I don't have like a special first aid move when we're not in the at the source, but I think I could just roll to like help do first aid, right?
I look at the small
harm
child.
And healing. When you heal another player's character's harm, oh, that's not a move. I guess so. You can only if like an angel.
It's an angel.
Yeah.
You pretty much need the angel kit.
So if we get back to when we get back to the source, I can do it, but not out here.
Short Husband sort of takes a few steps down the path and, well, down what amounts to your path, plucks a leaf off a small bush with large, sort of like a miniature elephant fern, if you've ever seen an elephant fern, um, and brings the leaf back and tears it into a square and then just sort of puts it against your cheek and says, "Hold it there for a while. It won't make it hurt any less, but it'll, stop the bleeding eventually."
Oh, it
Can
doesn't
he
hurt
can
that
he
much.
lick it first and then stick it on her cheek?
Doesn't need to. The blood will hold it on.
Oh
I kind
yeah.
of
Never mind.
wrap the handkerchief into a kind of thing, and tie it around my head so I look like an idiot.
Like when you take a
Like around
band,
my, yeah,
like when you take a bandana and turn it into a straight bit of cloth, like a bit of rope.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
so I look like I'm a comedy kids cartoon with a toothache.
So, Brandon and Alex, you guys might want to have a conversation in the chat. I want you guys to work out what you guys are going to talk about for the rest of your journey while I go do some stuff with Ryan. So, Saffron,
Yes.
what are you going to be doing back at camp? There was some discussion of potential things you could be doing. And if you
Yeah.
choose none of them, I will come up with a thing.
I think I'm gonna go see. Who am I closer with, Holland or Pacifica?
You're not really close to either, to be honest.
Hmm. All right. I'll go.
You have more clout with what is his name? Uh,
Holland?
no, Holland's
No,
brother.
that's. Oh, right. Um. Yeah, I have it here.
Toyota.
Toyota.
You have more clout with Toyota than anyone else.
All right, so I think I'll go to see Toyota and see what he advises.
Where is Toyota today? He has his own little sort of cabana barge, like a small sort of the kind of thing that a scout troop might put together. Uh, But where is he there or is he somewhere else?
Well, we said that he was he is some kind of a retired diplomat. Am I correct? He
Yes,
used to go out into the
he
Verdant.
used to be an emissary. Um, he is a patron of the arts now. He is a full-time patron of the arts, and you're the only game in town.
Hmm. Huh. So perhaps. Hmm. Maybe we have like a high hide someplace around the dam where like a tower where our security forces can look out over the Verdant, and I find Toyota up there sort of staring off in the direction of that encampment that burned down the
Hmm.
day before. Was it the day previous or a few days?
More or less the day before.
Okay.
The There's not much in the way of towers. It's pretty much the arches that are at either end of the dam. You can sort of climb up on top of them, but they're not taller than the tallest trees of the Verdant. But it does give you an elevated position, and it allows you to see definitely across the whole lake. And you see you see Toyota up there, sort of looking out to across the out from the dam wall down the where the stream would be, and off towards one of the mountains in the distance. The smoke is gone now, but it's almost as if Toyota still sees it.
Hmm. Um, in that case, I will climb up and talk to him.
Ah, Saffron, what can I do for you?
Yes, sorry to trouble you, Toyota.
Oh, it's no trouble. It's always good to see you. I loved the show the other night, by the way. Sorry I didn't talk to you afterwards, but I had to attend to some projects. And they sort of giggle to themselves.
Hmm. Always happy to hear a review from you, Toyota. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've come on a bit of a personal matter. I don't know if you've heard, but there was an attempt made on my life last night.
Truly. My goodness. I have been busy, so I hadn't heard. What
Yes,
happened?
I tried to keep it as quiet as possible. I didn't want the other patrons disturbed. A man came up to me after the show and tried to stab me with a screwdriver.
How did he get a weapon on the on the ship? You check everyone.
Hmm. Apparently, he was very determined.
Hmm.
But I
I
came.
can only think of a few places to hide a screwdriver.
Hmm, none of them pleasant.
Hmm.
Um, but I came to you because I sensed I sensed some kind of a. I know that you are a man of the world, and that you have experience dealing with other enclaves, and I sensed the presence of the Yellowkin on him.
Really?
It looked like he had been eating sulfur, and his eyes were clouded with it.
Toyota looks towards where he was looking before, and then his eyes sort of follow up the valley, um, roughly along a path that you reckon Ozair's party would probably be taking towards a water purifier plant or the water bottling plant, and then they sort of look to you and say, "Yes, it is their holy sacrament." How did he have any other markings of the Yellowkin?
Did he? I forget.
He had like a smudged yellow mark of some kind on his chest. You couldn't quite comprehend what it was depicting.
There was some marking on his chest, but I couldn't make it out. It was smudged.
Was it smudged, Saffron? He sort of looks at you with wild eyes, but is very calm as he says, "Was it smudged?"
As far as I can trust my senses, it was rather.
You should know better than anyone here, Saffron, that the Yellowkin have strange and mysterious ways. We've been keeping this quiet, but one of Pacifica's brothers has gone missing in the Verdant. He was working as emissary. Not exactly the swiftest of runners.
Do you think it was the Mountaineers?
Could be, but he was supposedly delivering a message to the Yellow Queen.
I see. That is troubling. The thing that perplexes me is why send an assassin after me? My parents were Yellowkin, certainly, and they moved on, but I've had very little to do with them my entire life.
Did you ever hear from your parents again, Saffron? It's not something you and I have really talked about.
No.
Hmm. Truth be told, I don't know why they would try to assassinate you. I don't even know if they did. For all we know, this could just be some insane lunatic who's been eating rocks and gone mad from the experience. The fact, uh, the fact that Arl's gone missing, it could just be, could be a Razbak, could have fallen into a Muz herd. Uh, it's not necessarily connected to the Yellowkin, he says as he looks off into the distance, with his hands on your shoulders.
Well,
Doesn't have to be the Yellowkin.
I suppose we've ample opportunity to find out. I'm sorry. What's the ambiguous gendered Khan's name again? I just said it.
Holland. Holland
Holland.
is Toyota's brother.
It's Holland's.
Sibling.
Yeah. Okay. Um, your sibling has decided. Your sibling and their partner have decided that the assassin is to be kept alive for the next 30 days under watch before justice is meted out.
Did they say what justice they would deliver?
I forget. Did they? They said that
They
they
didn't
were.
really. They said he would
No.
be dealt with.
They just said he would be dealt with. I suppose he could, had he succeeded in killing me, the penalty would have been death, but I don't know. Exile, um, further confinement, I have no idea.
Saffron, who would benefit from your death?
Only person I can think of right now is Bean.
Bean
But
is very wary of outsiders, but
yes,
I can't think of anyone else that would benefit from your death either. He sort of turns away from you and sort of looking thoughtfully and pacing slightly at the top of this structure. I don't know. I don't know, Saffron. I don't know.
I'm getting a little. I feel like Toyota is being a little overly diplomatic with me. There's something they're not telling me, so I'm gonna read him.
All right.
Okay. My sharp is
Masha.
1. My sharp is 1. And I'm gonna roll 2d6.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that. 12.
Oh, all right. Well, ask me your questions.
Okay. Is Toyota telling me the truth that he doesn't know?
That he doesn't know who wanted to kill you?
Who might want to kill me or who might benefit?
He is telling the truth about that, yes.
Okay.
He can't think of anyone beyond Bean.
What does Toyota intend to do? Is this something that he's going to act upon further, or is he just going to let it be my problem?
Toyota is going to keep playing you off against other folk.
Okay.
Because you are more useful to him that way. So no, he is not going to get involved directly. He's just going to keep sort of feeding you vague advice.
All right. And that brings me to my last question. How could I get Toyota to get involved on my behalf somehow, to either see about getting Holland and Pacifica to make this expedite this process, or even to figure out, help me figure out what the hell is going on here.
You could pretend that you're in on what you could pretend that you know what Toyota is doing to you. You could pretend that you fully understand why he's manipulating you and suggest to him that rather that he should be more open about it. I know that you're fucking around, that you're trying to get me to do things, but if you just came out in the open, we worked together, we could accomplish way more. So you're gonna make him think that you know what you don't know.
Okay.
And if you wanted help on that, it's possible that you could go away and use some of your other moves, like the everyone eats move, and I think you've got another one that might be beneficial.
Yeah.
Because then you could get more info on Toyota.
Yeah. I'm going to just tell him straight out. Uh, listen, listen, Toyota. As a businessman and as a dramaturge, it's my business to know people, and I know right now that you are trying to use our relationship and by extension me to your own ends. And I like to feel that we have a close enough relationship that if you just came right out and asked me what you wanted, um, I would help you in any way that I could. You are one of my oldest and most loyal customers. Now, obviously, that is a two-way street, but I have asked a lot of you. I would be asking a lot of you to help me in this situation. So, I'm trying to think of. Sorry, out of character, having a brain fart. Um, I feel like we could work out more of a quid pro quo if we could lay our cards on the table here. Um, so would that be seduce, manipulate, bluff, or
And any of those sounds good.
okay? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call it a combination of manipulate and fast talk, because I don't really know what he wants me to do, but I know that there's something that he's using me as a tool for. So I roll plus hot. That is +2. Oh. Okay, so yeah, I get it. 12.
Nice. So what do I do on a 12?
On a 10 plus, they'll go along with you unless or until some fact or action betrays the reason you gave them. So basically, the reason I gave him is, I will do things for you if you just ask. You don't have to, hint and try to manipulate me into doing it, but I expect something in return.
All right. All right. It's clear that I always thought that you were smart, but I didn't think you were this smart, Saffron. Forgive me, but you're a foreigner.
Mm.
I think that Bean is up to something. He's got a longer game in mind here. So do I. If there's gonna be a military here, it's not gonna be him that controls it. I can tell you that much. So I'd rather no one have that power than he have it. And I think that you and I need to work together to make sure that that doesn't happen. If he gets military power, it's not going to be long before we don't have two cons, we've just got one.
And that is a situation that no one wants. So how can I help?
I think either that assassin knows more, or it was just a fucking ruse, you know. What if the fact that somebody tried to kill you has nothing to do with Bean? How would he even contact the Yellowkin? And since when do the Yellowkin assassinate people?
Hmm. You're right, it doesn't work with his apparent mistrust of outsiders. Um, unless, as you suggest, if truly establishing a military presence here would make him, or whoever might lead the force, the de facto king. Maybe the Yellow Kin are trying to manipulate us from without.
Perhaps.
One con is easier to deal with than two.
I think either way, we need to get more on Bean and find out more about what the fuck he's doing. And we definitely need to make sure that that assassin dies sooner rather than later.
All right. I'll find out what I can about Bean. I might need your help persuading Holland and Pacifica to reconsider their judgment.
All right. As you sort
Or,
of, you go.
yeah, or if you'd prefer to leave them out of it, I might need your help smuggling him out of their custody.
As you leave to go find Bean or whatever, Toyota sort of stops you and says, "Wait, when you took the assassin to the cons for judgment, did it seem like one of them more than the other chose what would happen?"
It was Holland who whispered to Pacifica, right? Or the
Yeah.
other way around. Okay. It was your sibling. He whispered something to Pacifica, and she pronounced judgment.
Hmm. I might know what to do. I'll be in touch. I'll see you tonight at your performance.
Looking forward to it.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll give you a moment to think about what your next move is going to be, and we'll switch back over to our explorators.
I prefer
Alright.
Conquistador.
Conquistador.
Previously on Death in the Verdant.
Only
So,
if someone was playing the news.
oh man, what have you guys been talking about while you've been walking to the water bottling plant? I keep saying purification.
So we've been walking for hours, and there's been a lot of quiet because Ayazama tried to start a conversation with Ozair, and it didn't work.
Oh, it didn't? What did you try to talk to us there about?
Ayazama, so Ozair, I've always been curious. What is it like working on the dam all the time?
Interesting.
What sort of jobs do you have to do?
Canteen, if it would not bother you, if we could keep silent for some time, just, I was bitten on the face by some wild person, shot their head off, and I don't want to get attacked again.
Yes, yes, of course, of course.
I mean, the three of you hunters, do you think that silence is a good idea as opposed to having a conversation?
Hmm.
Exactly.
Well, then I suppose we shall be quiet.
Tall husband sort of turns and whispers, depending if it was a trail that we knew, a well-walked trail, conversation would be fine. So maybe on the way back.
It's fine. So we walk in silence, and
You walk.
Ayazama takes out a piece of eel jerky from his satchel and starts chewing it as we go.
Any sort of like sea creature jerky, by the way, that isn't like whale, is pretty much just smoked whatever. It's not really a jerky.
Oh yeah.
No, I just, yeah. To get you a, because you might have said eel jerky, because that sounds like apocalyptic, but in order to,
Yeah.
that is kind of a real thing, and I wanted you to have an appreciation for what that might taste like.
Oh, good.
It tastes delicious because it's the only thing we know.
That's
Yeah.
true. Well, you know, muzz isn't too bad, especially
Oh,
with,
that's right. Yeah, maybe it's a piece of muzz jerky.
especially
I
with some zest.
forgot. It's muzz jerky with some spice on it,
Marinated in source water.
of course.
It's been
Roasted over
sous
an open
vide.
fire.
Only the
Exactly.
best for the canteen. It's like an energy bar. You marinate it in the source water and then dry it out, and it's gives you a little bit of pep.
So you guys sort of, you feel like you should be at the spot. Um, like you've walked far enough and for long enough that it should be nearby, but you can't really see the place you're looking for yet. Not quite sure why that might be. It could be some kind of maybe the Verdant is hiding it from you. That's a thing that hunters talk about. Sometimes the Verdant doesn't
Mm.
want you to see.
Oh, I can't. I don't have access to Augury. Can I read a sitch? No, it's not a charge situation. Never mind.
Open your brain.
Yeah, I'll try opening my brain.
Okay, go
It is
for it.
not. It is not the canteen's strong suit.
Do you want someone? Do you want to ask someone to help you?
I turn to Lissa, and I say, "Lissa, a moment." And I sit down and pull a vial of water from my chain. It has a red stopper in it. And
Canteen, you can't.
well, I don't see as we have much choice, and I just chug it. All right, let me see what happens.
She grips your hands intently.
Man, I rolled a 10, but I have a -1, so that's a 9.
That's good.
Yeah. Open my brain. 7 to 9, the MC will give you an impression. And if I already know all there is to know, the MC will tell me that.
What does the weird look like to you? What is this? How do you see things in the psychic maelstrom?
So I think it's colored by the canteen's impression. So
Oh, that's right. Last time you
sees
told us it was like a river.
right, it's like flowing down a river, which is how he gets it when he's like giving service at the at the source, and he might not see it at like for him it's all connected to the source. So there is no quote unquote psychic maelstrom. It's just what the source wants him to know.
You
So
see,
it is the psychic maelstrom, but
you
that's
see
just
as you
how.
look. Yeah, indeed, that's how you interpret. You see it as you look around. There's you're sort of sitting in a stream, a shallow, stagnant stream that stretches back up to the dam. And then you're looking around, and to your left, just a little bit away from where the path you guys have been walking on, you hear the rushing of a waterfall, but the water is going up.
Huh.
Tell me, has the canteen ever been swimming?
Swimming?
Mhm.
I forget. Is the water in the dam, is that like poisonous, or can people go in that?
People dive in there all the time, remember? You guys have, like,
Yeah.
traps that are at the bottom
Oh
of the...
yeah. Then in that case, yes, the canteen has been. I figure if you're a mer, everyone knows how to swim.
Yeah.
Everyone's been swimming. It's kind of hard to avoid it.
Even most of the people on the dam would know how to swim.
Yeah. So he has definitely been swimming.
Alright. Have you ever had a bad experience while swimming?
Yes. When
What kind of a bad experience? Did something attack you, or did was it maybe it was emotionally bad? Maybe, a romantic indiscretion?
No. When Ayazama was a kid, he maybe when he was like 10 or 12, he was swimming and slipped into like there's probably like an area where some of the kids go to like swim and like jump off rocks where they're not supposed to, but they're kids, so they do anyway.
Yeah.
So when he was a kid, he was there and he jumped off rocks, but he miscalculated and like hit his head, so he passed out and drowned for a minute.
Yeah,
And
it's at the outlet at the bottom of the dam. I'm gonna say that's where they go jumping.
Yeah, that's weird. They're not supposed to, but they do because they're stupid fucking kids. And so he hit his head and drowned, and someone managed to pull him out and give him CPR. But that was so he was technically dead for like a minute.
Is the person that saved you still alive in the community?
Let's see.
Ethan.
Who's Ethan? Oh, your dad?
Ethan just goes around making out with drowning children.
Yeah.
Ayazama's my father.
I'm gonna roll odds yes, evens no. So no, the person is no longer in the community.
Alright. The person that saved you was a guardian of the previous canteen.
Okay.
You have no idea why.
Previous canteen.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. So basically, the previous canteen's Nipperkin.
No. I'm thinking the previous canteen was the one who saved me.
Alright, well, the
And
previous
that's what started me
canteen,
on my
for
path.
some reason, was at the bottom of the dam, and they saved you. No one really knows what they were doing there. Perhaps
Source
it was
told him to be
providence.
Yes. Perhaps he just likes watching kids swim.
Perhaps he just likes watching kids swim. He is a priest, after all.
Yeah.
But you come out of your trance, and where the waterfall was, there's just like a thicker than usual grove of trees and vines and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So Ayazama opens his eyes and sits and I believe the source has shown me the way. And he gets up and starts walking towards that thick grove of trees.
Yeah, you walk towards
the
it.
left.
It's got like vines and shrubs sort of stringing between the trees, and you reach out to push through it, and it's almost like the Verdant is pushing back. You can't push through the vines and stuff. It's like there's something there.
Do any of you have a blade? The hunters must have like machetes if they're.
Nipperkin steps forward with a knife.
Oh yeah.
I just was waiting to see if Ozair said something.
Ah.
I have a gun.
Because I figured that would be like a weapon, so I don't have that. But
yeah, indeed.
One of them probably does.
So Nipperkin hands you a machete.
All right, I start. Thank you, Nipperkin. Ayazama starts whacking at the vines and shrubs.
Immediately when you hack at the vines and shrubs, you hear like a sharp metal scraping on metal sound, and you see like a spark slightly as your machete scrapes across the vines.
So the vines spark.
Kind of. It's not clear.
Can I pull them aside like a curtain and see if there's anything behind them?
Sure. As you start to pull at the vines, you realize that there's a fence here that all these vines and plants have been growing on and around.
Ah,
And
so it's
they've
like a chain
grown.
fence.
It's
Okay.
like a chain link fence, but they've grown so thick that you can't see through them here. And as you pull it aside, you can sort of just make out beyond it a building. You're either going to have to climb this fence or cut through it, or you could try and walk around it. But
Is
whatever.
it barbed wired at the top?
What's barbed wire?
Yeah, that's true. Well, if I look up, do I see lots of sharp, pointy metal?
You see vines and trees.
There would be
Okay.
barbed wire at the dam if it was protected from before in the normal time, so we would be familiar with wire that is razor-like and cuts us.
All right. You're familiar with thorn wire.
Yes.
Um, you can't see any of that, any
Hmm.
thorns up there.
I think we should walk around until we find somewhere that's not fucked up with plants. This
I
goddamn
agree.
wood that needs to be burned down.
Which it hates the Verdant.
Well, that's a conversation you can have with the burners. But for now, yes, let's try to find an entrance.
Right. As you walk around, it takes you a while, but you find this fence sort of just keeps extending, and then you find it sort of the thick part of it sort of disappears. Um, and you keep walking for a minute, and then you realize what's happened. The fence must be in a square shape, so the fence has just changed direction. So you've reached a corner. Then you follow the next bit of the fence down, and it sort of fades, and there's almost like a a small grove here of the verdant, and you see small saplings, and you see this large, like boxy looking building. It's like the largest building you've ever seen besides the dam. It's almost like it's like the building that the canteen lives in, except huge,
Oh,
like gigantic. It's just this big, huge square thing, and there's vines growing all over it, and you also see all these exactly what you're here for. You see these lights, these square lights on top of fence posts, on corners. This acre, this barren, this opening, this grove that you're in, has them as well. At first, you thought that they were really straight trees, but they out the front of this building, there's these sort of straight-looking vine-covered trees that branch into four bits at the top, and they have lights on them as well. And there's like maybe 10 of those scattered around this opening. They all seem to be evenly spaced from one another.
out of character. This is the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a flat, open parking lot that's been
Yeah.
overgrown.
I think we found your lights, Ozair.
I guess.
Ayazama is going to gesture for Lissa and Nipperkin and go forward.
Nipperkin sort of looks around, but then follows your lead and walks forward. But he's sort of looking up at the trees. Both the real trees and the false trees.
Right.
Small husband and tall husband turn to Ozair and say, small husband turns and says, "You might want to watch out. I think. Do you hear that? Do you guys?" And then tall husband speaks up.
Drop
Do you
theirs.
guys? Do you guys hear that? Do any of you hear that noise?
Do we hear that noise?
It's sort
Can I
of
read
like
a sitch?
Go for it.
This seems like a charged situation now.
It's totally charged.
So with the plus of the sharp. Plussing
Don't
sharp.
forget to mark your. Oh, no one's rolled cool.
Oh, I did before. Oh, good. I got a 5, so I don't read that situation.
Sort of turn back and shout,
Oh, wait, no, on a miss, ask one anyway, but be prepared for the worst.
"I'll go for it."
What should I be on the lookout for?
You should be on the lookout for the fucking swarm of whites that you have just stumbled into the breeding grounds of.
Swarm of whites?
Whites are an animal I invented for this very run after Brandon reminded me of a thing that exists where I live.
Oh, well, you're going to have to be more specific than that.
Whites
I thought they were drop bears.
Whites are aggressive small birds. They clump in groups of 10 to 15. They're not dangerous enough to kill, but can cause serious injury when annoyed.
Gotcha.
It is spring, which is their breeding season. And as you turn and shout back at the other two, "Hear what?" you feel a sharp pain in the top of your head as a white bird swoops you.
Don't worry, I'll shoot it off.
And sort of puts a gash in your head.
That was my thinking head.
Let's take some harm.
100 harm.
So that's 1 harm. Do you have a helmet?
No, I don't think I have armor either.
I don't think any of you have armor, to be honest.
Nope.
But it's so good to ask.
I do not.
You should get the Hocus Divine Protection move, Alex.
You
Yeah.
should do it.
Well, I have to level up once for that to happen, so.
Just go wandering around in the deadly, deadly woods without any protection whatsoever.
What are you talking about? I have a 9mm handgun. I'm one of like 5 people in our town that has a
The
gun.
best defense is a good offense, Ryan.
Exactly.
So
Speaking
roll,
of which, I pull out my gun.
roll 2d6 plus harm.
Goddamn harm move.
Oh, good. 8.
Oh, nice. On a 7 to 9, choose. The MC can choose one. You lose a grip on your gun and you drop it to the ground as you clutch your bleeding head.
Oh,
I
damn it. I
reach
need
down
another gun.
and pick it up,
Now you're dual wielding, Ozair.
and I hand it back to him.
Oh, thank you. Where the hell is the harm move?
It's on the
basic move sheet, but I've
Yeah,
got
no,
it.
oh, wait. There we go. Harm and healing. There we go. I was looking for it.
So, Ozair's just handed you back your gun, and you start to hear this squawking sort of warbling noise, and you see a bunch of birds swooping down from the trees.
I would like to go aggro by shooting my gun in the air to make them leave.
Go for it.
Okay.
Don't you get to use your weird when you go aggro now?
Yes, I always have been able to do that since the beginning of the game.
You look cockeyed at the birds and squawk back as you fire your gun.
I don't suppose I can withhold water from them, can I?
I don't think you can do that. I think that's
Okay.
more of a community move.
Alright, well, I guess I'll have to use the gun then.
8, 9, 10.
Nice.
On a 10 plus,
You
I
have
want them to go away, or I will shoot them all. And on a 10 plus, they have to choose force your hand and suck it up, or cave and do what I want.
They cave, and as you fire your gun into the air, and they all scatter to the wind. So good solve.
Fucking
Yes,
birds.
well done. Ayazama's clutching his bleeding head with one hand and his gun in the other. Yes, well done, Ozair.
I unwrap my cheek bandage and start to put it on the canteen, tenderly touching him on the face.
Yes, thank you for the gently used bandage.
I'm not putting the bloody part on you.
You know, Ayazama, you're nowhere near Babylon. Just saying, as this attractive young lady touches your face.
Yeah, I am, however, very near to Lissa.
Hey, you know, Lissa, Lissa understands that the canteen needs to be open to their constituents. It was the only word I could think of.
Ozair kind of pats you on the shoulder, Aizama, and kind of looks at you in the eye. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Nothing a little time and won't heal. Just a little scratch on the head and my pride hurt.
Good, because I would be blamed if you died. My father would be rather upset if you died.
Ah, well, of course. We wouldn't want that to happen.
No, because then we have to drag your body back.
Yes, and then we'd have to go through the process of finding a new canteen, and... Well, Lissa would be the best candidate, but she's not totally prepared yet. Perhaps Babylon.
Canteen. Canteen Ozair. That has a nice ring to it, and Ozair kind of smirks and walks off.
When you say maybe Babylon, you can hear Nipperkin sort of like say "mm-mm" under his breath.
So Ayazama goes towards the plant, the bottling plant.
Brilliant.
Gun's still out.
We walk back to back, me and Ayazama, with our guns out.
Tell me, Ayazama, what rumors have you heard about this place?
Well,
Cool.
just this morning, someone told me about this water purification thing inside.
Alright, but tell me a new rumor. New
Okay.
to us, but not to your character.
I have heard that previous canteens and some of the most faithful have made pilgrimages here because of its watery significance.
Nice. Ozair, have you heard a rumor about this place before?
Ozair doesn't take rumors very well. Doesn't
But
listen to them.
How'd you hear about the lights that were here?
You see, her father told her.
Ah, did your father tell you anything else about this place?
No. She thinks he's been here before, but she doesn't really know. Because that would be
okay.
admitting she doesn't know anything.
You think he might have been here before? Okay.
Yes.
And it's believed that maybe some canteens made a pilgrimage here?
Yes, and devout people.
Alright. As you guys walk up to a door, it's sort of, it looks like sheet metal has been pinned over this doorway, and there's markings on it. You see the markings of, that you associate with the leadership of the dam, as well as the markings of the canteen.
Ozair taps it with her crowbar and says, I expected this.
That they would try to close this off?
Oh, yes. We have much to talk about when we return to the dam about tyrantism and evil doings of our past predecessors. As Ozair begins to undo the sheet metal with her crowbar.
In a way,
Ayazama takes a step back.
this action that Ozair is undertaking right now, in a way, is a metaphor for Ozair's greater actions within the community. That of dismantling the work of the past.
It doesn't say don't dead open inside, does it?
It does not say don't dead open inside.
Okay.
The markings don't really mean anything other than, you know, these people have been here. As you do open it, you pry off this sheet metal, you see busted down doors laying on the ground on the other side, and there's markings on those too. The markings on these doors are that of the burners. Say, you don't. Do either of you recognize the markings of the burners?
Yeah, sure.
Definitely
How
not.
how do you know their ways?
Through my visions from the source.
The source has told you.
The source has given me visions of the burners and what they do.
It's kind of
Also, they come to our town. I was
this.
chatting with Finer Sasha at the show.
Hmm. Do you perhaps mean Scaper Lee Rowan?
I just wrote down Finer Sasha.
Finer Sasha is
So
another one of the people, but you talked to Scaper Lee Rowan last
that
night.
is what I meant.
Yeah.
I
That's why.
just wanted to see if you remembered.
Of course, you were testing me.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that also
Serious
lends
thing.
credence to some of the stuff that you were talking about last night with Lee Rowan as well. Of the, you guys were talking about how the water table and the water cycle is linked to the way the plants grow, and perhaps there's some interplay between your faiths that should be
Hmm.
explored. The symbols on their mark, they indicate that there's a water source inside, but it's not reliable. And they also indicate danger after dark.
Oh, I will point that out.
Yeah, but the doors are just lying there on the ground.
Danger inside or danger outside? Is there any indication, Canteen?
Is there?
It's not clear.
No, it's
Of course. Fortune cookie is not clear. Something my father used to say.
what is a fortune cookie?
I don't know.
It's a
Something
cookie
his
of
father
fortune.
used to say.
Something his father used to say. It's been passed down the Ozair line for generations.
Like, well, Ozair goes inside. Don't give
Brilliant.
a fuck with a gun.
Um, give me 1 second to look up a thing.
You
I
enter
want
the
you to
dungeon.
make me a do something under fire roll.
I don't wanna. Me? Me in
Yes,
general, or
Ozair,
okay. That's a
because
good
you
one.
walked in first. Here
10.
he is. 10, nice. You step onto the wooden doors, not the wooden doors, the doors that are on the ground, and you immediately can tell that something is wrong, and you roll forwards, sort of a leaping roll forwards as the doors give out and fall into a pit that was dug as some kind of trap to keep people from entering here.
Huh. The penitent man will pass.
Yes, the
Uh,
penitent man will pass.
are you all right, Ozair?
Perfectly fine. I think this is some kind of trapped nonsense place. Full of nonsense traps.
Wonderful. Can we hop over the gap?
Probably wouldn't be too difficult.
All right, I will jump over. Do I have to roll or do I just do it?
No. So you guys know that it's there. You're not on any kind of clock, so you have
Right.
plenty of time to take your time and get across.
We're all
Okay.
capable people here, except for Lissa. She falls in and dies.
Yeah, listen, guys.
Oh,
Tragic.
now I have to brew my own potions. That's what
Uh,
my interns are for.
Not the
so
work.
you're inside this building. What you, the players, have a rough idea of what would be in a, fucking, what do you call it?
Bottling plant?
Bottling plant.
Some kind
Um,
of spigot and a conveyor belt.
so where do you, the players, think that your characters should wind up first?
Near some
Um,
spigot on a conveyor belt. No.
well, if we just walked in the front door, there would probably be like a reception area.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are gonna wander the building. I don't really want to
Gotcha.
play out the whole
Not
every
like room by
fucking
room.
every fucking room.
I take out my 10-foot pole and go over
Oh,
each
God.
square.
Ah! So where do you head first, basically?
I tell the canteen, I say, well, this is your kind of part of the mission, so maybe you or your manservant, I kind of shrug, bodyguard, lead the way.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna head deeper into the building towards the center of it because we're looking for that water purification. So we're gonna be looking for anything that bears a resemblance to our machinery at the aquifer.
Are you going to be swift, or are you going to take your time? So,
Take my time.
you guys are going to take your time? All right.
Yes, and check for other traps as we go.
You don't find any other traps as you search. You do find signs of like animals being in here. You don't really see any dens or anything, but like this,
That's
it's
good.
fucking filthy and disgusting and smells like rotten plants.
I turn to Ayazama. I wonder if these doors were closed, or not closed, if there was a big thing pinned over how animals got in here. There must be some other kind of exit or entrance that we have not seen yet. Or
Yes.
perhaps they dug up from underground. Perhaps there's a race of mole people that live in here, and I kind of wander about wherever I am.
I mean, it could be a shelk. They're burrowing creatures. They have
I hope
hard outer
not.
shells and tasty soft meat.
We climb
Are
high.
there like high windows up on like upper areas?
There are some high windows, all facing south. They don't have any east or west facing windows or north facing windows. It's only along one wall of the building. And
Or
that
they
is the
could have.
longest wall as well, too.
Yeah, it's possible they got in through some broken windows.
Yes.
Could be. Some of the windows are broken. They're in pretty good condition overall, though.
We should
That's
break them
surprising.
all.
Yeah, that's a great use of intact sheet glass. Break it.
I'm gonna throw rocks at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Ayazama's going to lead his little group back into the building where the business end of stuff is.
I don't want to alarm you guys, but an anonymous chupacabra is looking at our reclaimed Earth document.
Oof.
Probably just someone not signed into the Google Docs or whatever.
Indeed. So you guys are searching around and you find the water bottling floor. See, like these big fucking. At one point, they would have been quite chromed.
Mm.
Huge, massive reservoir container things. And you see like a bunch of plastic bottles just everywhere. Some of them look like they have water in them and they're sealed. You can see some piles of decayed due to the plants and stuff and the occasional bit of sunlight that would get in here. But you see pallets of dirty containers, but for the most part purified water, just sitting there.
The Khans have been here before. Why would they leave? And the burners as well. Why would they leave all this water?
I turn towards Ayazama. I can't speak for the burners, but I can speak for the cons. I mean, I'm not speaking for them, obviously. I believe that there is a conspiracy to keep us subjugated. And by not allowing us to repair the generator, by not allowing us to get more sources of water, no offense to your source of water, and other such things, the cons have been trying to keep us subjugated in order to whatever. Kind of looks
What do you mean
around.
not allowing us to repair the generator?
She kind of looks at the other 4 people.
Yeah, what do you mean not allow us to repair the generator?
Because I'm pretty sure that was a secret that you didn't tell anyone.
Yep, it's not a secret anymore. This is her first group of people she's going to preach
This
to.
is your first conspiracy. This is
Yes.
old hat to your father.
You see the um, engineers, I don't know what they call themselves, head of repairing, decided that we shouldn't repair the generator because it would give us too much power, and therefore we would become tyrants.
Tyrants of what?
The area, we would subjugate the burners or subjugate all the people and turn into kings of the land. I have a binder if you want to look at it.
I don't understand how having more power would do that, but it's an
And it
interesting thought.
seems I don't know your position, Canteen, nor do I wish to say your position, but in my position we already live under a system of tyrants. The cons.
I forget, out of character, are the cons are they elected or are they just appointed?
They're elected from 2 families, basically.
Gotcha.
Ozair can never be Con because she is not related to Holland or Toyota,
Gotcha.
and you can't ever be Con because you're not related to Pacifica,
Yep.
and Saffron's a foreigner, so they can't ever be Con.
Yep.
Saffron could, in theory, become father to a Con, though, as could the rest of you. A parent to a Con, to a
If we married in and then had a kid.
indeed, but you could never
So we'd be like the con mother.
Yes, the Con mother.
The power behind the throne.
Oh, I wonder who's trying to do that right now.
Not me. But I know. But yeah, we aren't allowed to choose the con. They're given full choice as to what we do. I mean, you remember the meeting a few nights ago where I first brought up this idea and I kind of put my hands out of the lights. Who decided we got to do that? Not all of us collectively as a group, but Pacifica and Holland.
Lissa sort of stands up and says, but they listened to our input. They made a decision based on the information we gave them, and they considered what we wanted as a community.
Did they, though? Did they actually listen, or had they already made up their mind?
Tall husband seems very annoyed at this non-traditional thinking.
Well, political and philosophical discussions aside, we should see what, if anything, we could salvage from here and start making our way back before it gets too late.
Agreed.
So, Lissa, you wanted to study the water purification? Now is your chance.
Yes, and she steps forward and starts, like, pouring over the machine.
I'm going to pick up one of the sealed bottles of water. Ayazama, looks it over and then cracks it open and sniffs the contents to see how they smell.
Well, it smells stale and plasticky.
Not as good as the water from the source.
It doesn't smell like stagnant water, though.
He takes a little tentative sip.
And immediately starts shitting himself. No.
Oh no. But so it's just stale, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad compared to some of the water sources out in the Verdant, to be honest.
Right.
The bottle does, however, feel like it's about to fall apart at a moment's notice.
Yeah, he just seals it back up and drops it in the others and watches as it just.
Yeah, as you do the bottle lid and like you accidentally rip the whole sort of part that the lid screws onto off
Yeah.
as you're tightening it, and then you like drop the bottle and it just explodes.
Oh my.
They're not in the best condition, but you
Yeah.
know, it's fresh water. Potable. It's potable.
Can I join Lissa in studying the water purification stuff they have here?
Yeah, you two start pouring over that. Ozair?
Ozair starts to walk towards Ayazama and then sees him go over to Lissa and rolls her eyes and goes up. Just, is there like a staircase, like a metal grated staircase? She's just going to go off somewhere to look for anything.
There is. The staircase is probably the cleanest thing here. It looks like it's well worn.
Interesting. I'm going to put my foot down on the bottom. Are they like metal staircases or are they like concrete?
Yeah, it's a metal staircase with no risers.
I'd see if it, when I put my weight on it, if it like is going to give out if I start walking up it.
Yeah, no, it seems pretty sturdy. It doesn't look that rusted. It looks tarnished more than anything, but it doesn't have a lot of debris on it.
Just gonna go see if there's anything worth taking from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm announcing that to the room so that people know I didn't just disappear.
The husbands are sort of quietly bickering amongst one another.
And I kind of look at them and squint. I know what they're talking about. Or Ozair thinks she knows what they're talking about. And she goes up the stairs to look for, mechanical pieces, electronic pieces, stuff, shove in pockets, cute bobbleheads, dolls.
Into what looks
Tara
like
finds a bobblehead and gets a +1 to their skill.
Yes.
An old office building of some kind, and an office room, of some kind. It's very open and laid out. And right in the middle of the room is what looks like some kind of animal nest. It's like a pile of dirt and leaves. It's very thick. It's almost like somebody tried to make a wall by slapping mud and shit together. And in the middle are 3 eggs. Large eggs, about the size of a rock melon or cantaloupe, depending on which country you are from.
Well, cool. Interesting, but they're eggs. Ozair turns around and says, well, fuck this, and goes back down the stairs and finds Nipperkin.
Yeah, you find Nipperkin. You do notice it's starting to get dark. Like, it's not dark like nighttime, it's dark like you are in a valley and you're also in a jungle, so...
So,
once
I
it
know
gets
you're
past
like
midday...
you're like a hunter, or you were a hunter, right? You got experience. Do you know anything that lays, like, and I put my hands out, like eggs? They're like this big.
His eyes go wide. It's either a Fastodon or a boar croc.
Because there's some eggs up the stairs. I didn't touch them or anything, but
How
I was
many?
looking for 3 or 4. I didn't really get that good of a look. I just said, fuck this, and kind of walked away.
Alright, I put this to the group. What lays eggs in groups of 3? Is it a Fastodon or a boar croc?
I like the idea of a boar croc. I mean, not personally because my character's there, but out of character.
Alright.
Don't worry, Alex. I can whisk us away with my magical power.
Are you happy with that? Yeah, just you two, though, right?
We're the only player characters.
As the PC who's not there, I am also on board with the boar croc.
Alright, he says it's a boarcroc nest.
Well, should we be worried? I don't mean like, should we be like, oh, there's a boar croc, but I mean like, is it going to be like, I'm hiding under the conveyor belt and I'm going to bite your ankles or something?
The boarcroc would have already attacked us if it was here.
Well, maybe it died.
Are they nocturnal?
They're not nocturnal, they're diurnal.
So,
They tend to hunt during the day, or forage, depending. They will eat meat. They're scavenger carnivores, but they are predatory herbivores.
so they're not like gonna like, unless we're like, ooh, dance on the eggs or something. They're not gonna like come and like attack us for no reason.
They are highly territorial, so if they find us here, they will totally gore the shit out of us.
Well, that's a stupid animal.
Maybe we should go.
Well, did you figure out whatever you're trying to figure out?
I don't know. How much have we figured out of what we're trying to figure out?
It's definitely something to do with water.
Nice.
You know, I'm not sure if it actually is purifying or treating water at all. It might just store water and then just put it into bottles. There could be no treatment that goes into this.
Yeah. It's going to take us a great deal more time than we have right now to suss out exactly how the system is working.
Well, can't we just like find a room and shut the door and hole out for the night or something?
All three hunters look at you and say, "You want to spend a night in the Verdant?"
We're in a building. I'm not really worried. Like, I was almost killed by a man who bit me in the cheek. I mean, I'm not really worried about animals. Yes, I know they're dangerous. Yes, I know a Muzz can come in here and be like, I'm a Muzz, and then fall in the hole and die or whatever. But
what about the bone chewers that just attacked us on the road here?
How would they know that we're here? Are you going to start a fire and get on top of the building and say, bone chewers, we have bones that you can chew? Like, are we even going to make it back home?
If you left now, you'd make it home.
I think we should probably side with the hunters who know what they're doing.
Although ultimately it is Ozair's expedition, so they will default
That's
to
true.
you if you tell them to fall in line. You have the capacity to be a tyrant.
Become what you hate.
Ozair kind of looks at the hunters and back at Aizama and at Lissa, and then kind of looks at the ground and looks around the room and just kind of mutters some monosyllabic curse under her breath and kind of says, well, are we ready to leave? I'm glad we did this.
We haven't gathered any lights yet.
Nope, we haven't. So are you ready to leave?
Well,
Guess we will have to make another trip after returning. At least now we know the path here and we know the dangers.
Didn't you say that this was going to be a scouting expedition?
I say a lot of things, Canteen.
Look, Canteen, I'm a doer. Alright?
Well, as one of the husbands said, we know the path and we know it is marginally safe.
I
the lights
kind
are
of
here.
go over to Ayazama and I look at him and I say, can we speak in private?
Of course.
Just for a moment.
Is this conversation going to be, let's stay here?
No.
Alright, cool. I will switch over to Ryan. So, Saffron,
Yes.
what where were you going after you talked to Toyota?
Well, I need to get some more dirt on Bean. Um, Remind me what I found out the last time I used my Everybody Eats move, or Everybody Goes to the Sex Theater.
He has a pleasant home life. His daughter is gonna enter into one of those multiple person marriages, and he is happy for her. He is wary of outsiders. And when he was younger, he killed a burner out in the woods. It's not clear whether it was in self-defense or not.
Or if it was just because he mistrusts outsiders.
Indeed.
And he has 4 volunteers that he's supposed to train up.
He has 2 so far. He still needs another 2.
All right. Hmm. I feel like I need to insert some kind of information flow into this. So I'm going to use my fingers in every pie move. Put out the word that you want a thing, could be a person, could be something something, could even be just a thing, and roll plus hot. So I wanna put the word out that I'm looking for um, someone who is strong, has um, someone who might want to volunteer for Bean's little militia, and someone who is not currently on my guest list, but who probably would want to be.
All right. Hmm. Hmm.
So we'll see how that comes up for me.
You need to. Do you need to roll, or does it just happen?
No, I roll plus hot, and
All right.
then okay, so that's
What?
8 plus 2 is 10.
Brilliant.
All right. So on a 10 plus, it shows up in your establishment for you like magic. And I mark an improvement. I mark XP and I improve.
Oh, brilliant.
So I will leave that till the end of session.
So a woman named Cochel, which is the name of a creek near where I live, comes to you. The Mer. She's known when she was younger. She took part in a lot of the racing, so like swim racing.
Okay.
You know, shore and back kind of stuff. Shore, run to the dam, run along the dam, back into the water, stuff like that. You know, she's very athletic. Recently, she's been working as a runner and courier around the community. Not an emissary, but like, when someone needs to get out to one of the boats, she's like there to taxi them around. Uh, she hasn't. She comes to you. I heard that you're looking for some muscle or something.
Yes. Cockle, you said it was?
Yeah, cockle.
Okay. Cockle, come over to the bar. Let me buy you a drink.
Thanks. You can tell that they're clearly wearing the best clothes they have, and they're not very good. They've clearly tried to bathe themselves in preparation for coming over here as well. Did a poor job.
I will say, I wonder. I am looking for a little bit of muscle, but I'm also looking for someone with a good head on her shoulders, someone who can keep her eyes open and maybe feed some information back to me, and wouldn't be opposed to a little arrangement. I suppose I could make it worth your while, as it were. Um,
Yeah. What do you need me to do?
so I suppose you've heard that Bean is looking for volunteers for his militia.
Yeah. Apparently, it's not exactly paying people very well. The cons didn't give him any budget or nothing. He has to just pay out of his own money.
Hmm.
It's not really good work.
Uh, I've heard that he hasn't had much luck finding volunteers. Um, but what I would like you to do, if you accept the terms of the agreement, is to volunteer and do as I said. Keep your eyes open, um, keep track of the goings on, and maybe report back to me when you can, or if there's anything worth reporting.
Like a spy?
Exactly like a spy.
Um, I could do that for you. What's the pay?
Well, in exchange, of course, you would be on the guest list. Whenever you'd like, you could come to a performance. And I suppose we can throw in a little something extra for you. I'm open to negotiation. So I'm going to seduce or manipulate.
Go for it.
All right, let's see how I do. Been hitting every roll tonight so far, so it's bound to fuck up sooner or later. All right, there it is. 7.
That's not a fuck up. That's still a successful roll.
Yeah.
So what do
All
I need?
right. On a 7 to 9, they'll go along with you, but they need some concrete assurance, corroboration, or evidence first.
Look, Bean's kind of an important hunter, so like I'll spy on him, but I need to. If I get in trouble, I still need to eat.
Of course. Tell me what you need.
I just like, why do you want me to spy on him?
Um, well, to be quite frank, Bean seems to have his eye on this ship. He doesn't feel like I'm putting it to good use, and he feels like his militia would be a more apt fit to be quartered here.
Hmm. Right. I'll do it for 2 labor cards a day.
All right. Out of character, is that an obscene amount of money? Like, am I getting?
It's not an obscene amount of money, but like 1 labor card a day would be paying people to like do some light lifting and mostly just sort of stand around.
Okay.
So like 1 labor card is what you would pay, not that you would have this situation in your community, would be like what you pay when on it for a job site where you can't work on the job site at the moment due to weather or whatever.
All right. And also, is it something I can afford to do right now?
You may have to adjust your clientele requirements.
Hmm. Well, I feel like that is something. I feel like that is something that I can do right now. Cockle, um, I suppose we should make arrangements. If you want your 1 labor card, if you want your 2 labor cards per day, then you'll have them. But again, if you should be found out, and I do hope that you will take precautions to ensure that does not happen. We've never done business. You are not in any way my informant. You know nothing of me.
Right,
Deny
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I'll keep my lips sealed, she says as she sort of leans into you, and you realize this person has no espionage training.
Hmm.
They're just a fucking runner. You put the word out for somebody strong, and you got somebody strong.
All
She's
right,
not she's not dumb, but
but
she's
she's not going to be like, setting up dead drops or anything like that.
yeah, she'll just come over.
All right. In that case, I'll tell her that she should, we should have a signal that she has something to report to me. And we should have a meeting place or a dead drop. I'll set everything up. So unless she has something to tell me, she's just going to be one of Bean's volunteers.
Right. Well, you've given her permission to. You've put her on your guest list, so you
Yes.
could. Most people don't come every fucking night, so you could just say, come here once a week unless you've got something really important you need to tell me.
Okay. That's a good signal.
Yeah. Cool.
Um, and I'll make the necessary adjustments. Maybe we'll have to invite an extra person or two to compensate. And
You
yeah,
could also, if you wanted to, you could hire out your labor.
okay,
You've got a lot of children that are just sort of around.
that's true. I could put the theater rats to work.
You could do some kind of labor exchange with the dam because you're not currently in rehearsal for a show. Your um work is intensive at night, but during the day it's maintenance basically.
Okay,
So you could
that
perhaps do
is
something there.
that is a good idea. I want the children of the theater to learn more than just stagecraft. Make themselves as useful as possible to the people of the dam and the lake. So perhaps it will send them out on other projects.
All right. I think you will need to talk to Ethan or Holland about that.
All right. In that case, I will go to. That is a tough. Who do you go to? Who would be more receptive to hearing the "let me sell you my exploitative child labor" argument?
Are you asking me, or have you got to move?
I do not have a move. Um,
Really? There's no move for how do I sell child labor?
uh, yeah, nothing that specific, or not even something that I
All
could
right. Well, then you'll just
twist a
have to
little.
pick one.
Um,
You could
I
probably
feel
get Ethan to do it if you spin it as a learning experience.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, I'm gonna go to Ethan.
Brilliant. All right. So you head off to Ethan.
It's an internship.
Right, but instead of paying them, you pay me.
Yeah. So you go the to Ethan, who is he's down in the dam, overseeing the uh, there's shoring up of some of the concrete in the dam wall.
All right. Ethan, I wonder if I might have a moment of your time if you're not too busy.
Oh yes, of course, Saffron. Just give me a minute. Husqvarna, come here. I want you to take over here. All right. You keep him on task. Oh, you're a chip off the old block, you are. And they walk off with you. Yeah, what do you need?
Um, I have been concerned for some time about the children of the theater. I Does Ethan come out of character to the theater very often, or
Once or
do they stay?
twice.
Okay. Um, as you may know, the business we're in sometimes results in unforeseen, unexpected surprises. And we do the best we can to raise them and nurture them and make sure that they grow up to be intelligent, useful, productive members of society. But I worry that limiting their experience to just the theater might have a deleterious effect on them. They won't be any good for anything else if they ever choose to leave us, and I don't want that. I want them to have options.
Oh, okay. We might be able to find some learning experiences for them. We've got some open apprenticeships we could put them in.
And of course, I assume they would be fairly compensated for their work.
Uh, you know what? I reckon I could do. Look, I couldn't do more than half a work card a day each. They're going to be unskilled labor. You know, we're going to
Right.
have to train them up. They can't do heavy lifting because they're children.
Of course, of course. Um. Well, I I would hate to feel that they are being undervalued. Are you sure that you couldn't do any more for them to make sure that they learn that they get paid an honest day's wage for an honest day's work? And I'm gonna try to.
All right, manipulate the shit out of him,
Yeah, let's see how this goes. Um,
and then we'll wrap things up.
yes, 11.
11. Cool.
So he goes along with it.
Yeah. All right. All right. How about one work card a day?
That sounds fair.
All right. Now they'll have to supply their own lunch. Can't be
Oh,
feeding them.
we've been feeding them. That should be no problem at all.
All right. Brilliant. All right. Well, we'll get them started. I'll have someone handle some orientation tomorrow, and then we'll get them started the day after. Sound fair?
Perfect. Perfect. I'll do my best to get you some ready and willing candidates for the morning.
All right. Brilliant. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Ethan.
Ayazama and who's that other one? Ozair. What were you about to chat about?
I don't know.
I lead Ayazama off somewhere where just, within eye distance, but perhaps not ear distance of these people, and I kind of grab his hands and say, I need you to listen to me.
All right.
If I leave here, I'm on a path. If I leave here right now, I'm not coming back here. Not getting lights, not fulfilling my plan. You understand what I'm saying? I'm on a different path. If I stay here overnight and I can get lights in the morning and take them back, I'll be on the same path I'm on now.
Why wouldn't you be able to return?
And I kind of look at him and kind of sigh and
The two brother husbands are still whispering to one another as they look at you.
I'm going to fix the generator. And that will change everything, Ayazama.
And you need the lights in place before that.
I need to have them before that.
Well,
I
then
mean,
I
it's
guess
fine.
we should...
It's fine for me to leave. I just want to know that. I want you to know that things are going to change if I leave here tonight.
Then we should probably start taking down some lights.
And I kind of drop his hands and say, look at the other four and say, let's go. We don't need the lights.
No, I meant we should start taking them down so that we could then spend the night here and then
Oh,
leave in
yeah.
the morning.
Ozair knows what you mean.
Oh,
Ozair knows what you mean. I also am confused, Alex.
okay.
Yeah, the other four are like, alright, and they get ready to leave.
Yes. She knows what you're saying, but
Hmm.
she looks at you as she's kind of walking and says, I know sometimes I don't do things that make sense, but I'll need help with what I'm going to do.
Don't take any actions that at this fragile juncture could cause more harm than good in our community.
You know, I think that there is a great analogy here that Ayazama might use. You don't dam up a river before surveying the surrounds.
Probably should have unmuted my mic before I spoke. Yes. Remember the saying, Ozair. You don't dam up a river before surveying the surroundings. One of the previous canteens wrote that many, many years ago. And it is words of wisdom that many in our community live by.
The gospel of the dam.
The basic meaning is check your surroundings before you do stupid shit.
I understand. But people are suffering.
Are they? Or are they
They may not know
content?
it.
Is a
And
slave a
as they walk
slave
away-
if they don't know
It
they're
doesn't know he's a slave, yes.
Alright, and then you guys head off back to the dam? Is that what we're doing?
Yes,
I guess?
that is
so-
what Ozair is doing.
Alright, weird, cool. Alright, I think that's going to be the end of that run. With a really strange ending, to be honest. Cool. End of session stuff. Does anyone feel like they know a character better?
Up until like 2 seconds ago, I thought I knew Ozair better.
Now you realize you don't know shit.
Yeah. I'm still gonna say. Oh no, it's who knows me better. So Ozair
right,
definitely knows me better. Yes.
Okay, so Ayazama is 3. Ayazama, you know me better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like Ayazama also knows me better since I asked him for help.
Yeah. That puts you at 4. I actually get to mark XP.
Nice.
One more, and I can level up for the first time. Sorry, I reset you to +1.
Yep.
Quick, roll cool.
Yeah, one of these days. Well, the problem is, like, if I was leading like, all my moves are plus cool, but I was not in a place to do any of my actual moves.
Oh no.
Also, no one's broken the law in the the aquifer yet, so I haven't had to deal with that.
I mean, I guess I could do something with that if you want to kill someone in your...
I mean, it's not everything leads to death. Some people just get exiled or have their fingers chopped off.
I cast you out!
Run away, Simba.
Sorry.
Brilliant. Alright, well, we'll end that there. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. Sorry, this one went a little bit longer than it should have. But hopefully you enjoyed it, and sorry about you getting a little less screen time there, Ryan.
That's okay. I spent most of my time listening to Alex and Brandon and trying to think of how I could use the moves on my sheet to get what I wanted. So
You used like 3 of your moves in like one scene. You
So
chained
good.
them together well. Alright, sweet. Well, I think that's the end of this. Hopefully you folks listening enjoyed it. Farewell from the past. I'm Raymond.